Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brock Beard from lastcar.info. Welcome you to another special race watch along this evening. The 2000 Winston 500 at Talladega, the 76th and final win of Dale Earnhardt's legendary career. We're going to get started with that in just a moment. I have a couple of things definitely want to talk about. First and foremost, hope you're all having a wonderful holiday season. I figured I'd throw this in there at the same time. We had a few requests for this race here in our previous live streams, so definitely wanted to make sure to oblige. We have it queued up on the NASCAR Classics page. Definitely be sure to support those folks over there. They do tremendous work over there. I also have a special guest here. You may notice at the bottom of the screen, here is Badger. There he is. He just kind of snuck into the room here just a minute ago, but he heard about this Dale Earnhardt fella and wanted to check it out too. Oh, goodness, he's all crashed out. So he may be at the bottom of the screen here. You'll notice him a little bit, but there he is. Just check it out, this. So, big thanks to everyone to check it out. I think it's been a while since we did our last show here. I guess the Mike Harmon video came up after that, so big thanks to those of you supporting that video. Mike was very pleased with the results as well. He definitely wanted to make sure that story was still out there because there hasn't been a resolution in that, and they're still trying to find their hauler, their equipment, and their race car there that Kyle Weatherman ran in that 2020 race at Daytona. We got some great responses to that. I also want to thank you for your response to the video I posted this week. It was a bit more off the cuff there. My thoughts on the H-Bomber Guy video about plagiarism on YouTube. I thought it was very interesting. Again, you know, it's I know he brings it to your attention through the context of like some very different videos there, but I definitely felt like contributing something to the discussion there, especially since research is definitely a big passion of mine there. And there was some good discussion in there, and I appreciate everybody bringing that up there at the same time. I've thought about maybe having a separate channel for content that doesn't necessarily relate to NASCAR racing or racing in general. I know I've experimented a bit both between that commentary video and as well as the Quebec, New York video that was posted last month. So stay tuned for that. I might do that in place of the old live stream channel that just hasn't, I haven't really done much with that the last few years. So that may be the way there too, especially if you're looking for something where, you know, if you see a post on this channel, you'll know it's NASCAR content, and maybe something could be a separate of that as well. So, yeah, so we'll definitely, you know, we may do more commentary like that in the future. It depends. I have so much stuff that's in line for content on this main channel here. That's kind of been more my focus of that. On that same note, those of you who are in the Patreon, or if you join the Patreon at levels $5 and up, you will notice that today you will have access to another video, another NASCAR related video that is going to be going live on this channel next week, and that is the long-awaited episode 7 of 500 Days tracking the spring race at Darlington in 2001 and the storylines surrounding it. The video is just under an hour and 33 minutes long. That video is available in the Patreon right now, so after the stream tonight, if you want to see some more content there, you can check that out as well. So, yes, we have plenty more content coming up for you here in the near future here on that. So I'm definitely glad to get that video done. I'm actually working on transcribing some interviews that I collected back at Phoenix for a couple other upcoming videos here, and I'd love to get those done this winter. So yeah, we got a lot that's coming together here at the same time. So I have that news as well. I want to express my sympathy to the folks over at the Winston Cup Museum. I understand this is today is their last day in operations over in Charlotte there. We were very close to checking them out as well back during our first Darlington trip. Unfortunately, they were closed on Labor Day there. But I really applaud Stapleton 42's video on that gave a very comprehensive experience of traveling through that museum and the storylines behind the different paint schemes. I think he did a fantastic job there. On that. I hate what's happened in the contempt action that's been going on there with the owner. I don't know exactly the particulars about what was going back and forth about who exactly decided to close down the museum there. But I think it's pretty safe to say that there was just a lack of some kind of compromise that could have been worked out there. And I still think the contempt action on top of all of that is just a bridge too far. So I hate it for the folks over there at that museum, because, again, I just think it really shows just that there could have been something that could have been done that probably would have been much more helpful to everybody involved in that out there. So, again, kudos to the folks over at the museum. I hope they're having a good send-off there today over at the Mooresville museum there, and hopefully those cars find some good homes there as well, at least as good as the others. I was very concerned from the video that Stapleton brought up that the Tide machines in particular, that they're painted with a shade of orange that really doesn't hold up very well in the sun. So I hope whoever ends up with the Tide equipment in particular, that they protect it really well, because it's just such a beautiful color. You'll see it in this video as well. Actually, I guess like, you may not see it in this one, because Scott Pruitt was running a Crimson Tide paint scheme in this one that had the dark red instead of the bright orange. But again, a lot of the different colors from the 2000 season were just as bright as that was back then, and that'll be a theme to come up there as well. But so again, we have a lot of exciting things coming up here. We also have a upgrade to the Last Car website. Some of you who have traveled to the old domain at lastcar.info may have noticed a few changes to that. Thanks to those of you, especially those of you supporting the Derek Cope book, I've been able to hire a web designer to get the website kind of upgraded a bit. I've been meaning to do this for a while because it's kind of been squished in there, and we never really had a mobile standalone version, and the articles it's just kind of a little hard to look at, I know, and also having it kind of in dark mode as well, because I know people prefer that, especially for reading material on the internet. So we're working on that. The person that I hired on there is very enthusiastic about the project. We're going to have another discussion here this week, and I hope to have that finished up and ready to go by the beginning of February for the start of that too. So we're going to have, oh goodness, we have quite a few people there. Urinate Tree, thank you so much for tuning in, buddy. Oh my goodness, we have royalty here in the comment section. Yep, we're gonna get started with Talladega in just a moment for everyone. But yeah, thank you everyone for, my goodness, tuning in here. Well, we're not gonna keep you waiting too much longer here. So yeah, I think that's about it. We got the site getting to go, and we're really excited. And thank you again, everyone that's supporting the Derek Cope book as well. We have our first book signing coming up this Thursday at 5 p.m. at the Scott Harvey Wine Tasting Room in Sutter Creek at 5 to 7 p.m. The details to that are on my Twitter feed at LastCarOnBrock. If you are in the area and you'd like to swing by, definitely come on by there. And if you haven't picked up a book yet, I'll be selling books there. And if you've already picked up your book, definitely make sure that you bring it with you there, and I'd be happy to sign it for you as well. That'll be the first of, we're planning some other book signings next year as well, so stay tuned for more details on that. So there you go. Thanks again, Urinate Tree. Hang on, man. I'm a big fan of your work. Thank you so much for tuning in. Glad you haven't forgotten about NASCAR either. I know you've done some other NASCAR videos, so we're definitely going to jump right into it. So with that, I think that would be a good transition into the race itself here. Let's give a little bit of context going into this here. So again, it's the fall of 2000. Bobby Labonte is running away with the championship that season with a brutally consistent year, much as Dale Jarrett had in 1999. This was kind of a strange era. Also at the same time that Jeff Gordon was kind of transitioning to different crew chiefs and different pit crews even. His famous Rainbow Warriors had gone to Dale Jarrett's team in the 2000 season. Jarrett had dominated the Daytona 500 that year with an aerodynamic package that was not very popular and not very competitive, because NASCAR was trying to ride herd on the shock package that was being run at that time. So we had different drivers that were competing for the win in that one. Johnny Benson trying to pull off the victory there, but Dale Jarrett was far and away the most dominant driver. So really, during the entire 2000 season, NASCAR was trying to figure out a new aerodynamic package that's going to be more competitive. In the spring race at Talladega, where Jeff Gordon won his 50th career race, there was an improvement. They backed up, and I believe it was only half the shocks were mandated, and the other half the teams could figure out. Kenny Irwin, Mike Skinner, and several other drivers were much more competitive in that one, and Gordon ended up pulling off the victory in that. And then the return to Daytona in July, which was the last race on CBS, Jeff Burton pulled off the victory. This was another race that was once again dominated by the Fords, unlike the spring race at Talladega. Again, a bit more competitive than the 500, but still, again, not quite where NASCAR wanted it to be. And amidst the tragedies and turmoil that were happening behind, very much in public view, with the losses of Adam Petty, Kenny Irwin, and on this particular weekend, Tony Roper after his accident in Texas, there was definitely a lot of tension in the air at the same time. This is about a month removed from the other restrictor plate race in the 2000 season at New Hampshire, where NASCAR attempted to hold off the safety issues there by trying to actually slow the cars down. So quite a bit was happening. On top of that, we had several first-time winners, all of them except for Jerry Nadeau, who we did our last watch-along for there. We already had Steve Parks win at Watkins Glen, Dale Jr. at Richmond, or Dale Jr. at Texas. He also won Richmond and the All-Star race, and Matt Kenseth at the Coca-Cola 600. And again, a lot of tension building up. One of the last races on ESPN, not the last, of course, we saw that in Atlanta. Bob Jenkins was not the play-by-play announcer. I believe he had a loss in the family that weekend, so he was away from the track. And Dr. Jerry Punch had the call on this. So kind of a precursor to him in 2007 when he became the main play-by-play guy for ESPN. So these are really the big stories on that. I believe Joe Nemechek was your pole sitter. This is the video that you may famously or perhaps infamously remember my first terrible broadcast video being on. So some of these moments may be familiar, but others along the way. But definitely an exciting race. NASCAR brought out the wicker bill and the bigger restrictor plates, and nobody really knew what to expect. But on what was then referred to as White Knuckle Weekend, the result was certainly memorable. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the race watch-along screen here, and we will get started. Let me know. I think I got the volume okay, but if it's too quiet or too loud, just let me know in the chat. We'll go ahead and adjust this, and we'll have some fun. So thanks to everyone for tuning in, and we'll have some commentary here along the way.
And now, for the most famous words in auto racing, Mr. Jim White.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
There you are, Jerry. Right on. Joey Lasagna fan, my thoughts about the current state of NASCAR. Man, that would be a subject for a whole other video.
Well,
I don't think I can fit that in today.
Punch, and we are glad to have you with us today here at Talladega. You know, if you were to take the NASCAR record book and flip to the page on most competitive races, you would learn very quickly that 4 of the 5 most competitive races in the history of the sport have happened right here at Talladega. Back in 1984, we saw a NASCAR record 75 lead changes, and 2 years later, over half the field, 26 drivers, led this race. Now, given the rule changes this week and what we're hearing from the garage area, they hope that the headlines tomorrow around this country will read, at Talladega, grown men use slingshots to bring the fans to their feet. Well, let's hear what our experts think. Let's bring in our champions and my heroes. Here's Benny Parsons and Ned Jarrett.
You know, since 1969, they've been racing at Talladega. They've averaged over 35 lead changes per race. But you got to go back to 1989 to find a number larger than 35. So the last 11 years, 25 lead changes. That's what NASCAR is trying to do, is to try to increase drag.
Easy, good question on the JD book. Second edition does have some updates. We had a couple other interviews, especially about certain practice incidents that weekend. A few corrections along the way. There's a new epilogue in there as well that covers. We did the Watkins Glen coverage in 2018. So, yeah, plenty of bonus content there, as well as the audiobook that is narrated by me is the second edition as well. So if you just want to hear the new content on there, yeah, the audiobook as well.
This one today
interested in that.
Will be one to remember. I hope you put seatbelts on your sofa, because now it's time to strap it at home.
Auto Rocket Racing, yeah, IRL in Texas, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Bob Jenkins definitely more of a fan of
ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, once again brings you NASCAR. Today, live from the world's fastest stock car facility, 500 miles of high-bank, high-speed action. Take a look at this massive facility, 2,500 acres, Talladega Superspeedway, 2.66 miles around. The front straightaway, 4,300 feet. That's because of the tri-oval. On the backstretch, a straight 4,000-foot drag strip. The corners banked at 33 degrees, the trial 18, and the straightaway, the back straightaway, just 2 degrees. Let's take a look now at our Walmart Tire and Lube Express starting grid and show you that Front Row Joe picked up his first pole of the year, his 6th of his career, and the 2nd year in a row he is set on the pole for this event at Talladega. He is flying
Charlie
by
Daniels,
Austin
pace
Bill,
speed for
Bill
Joe
Elliott,
Nemechek,
who started 2nd here back in April. Back in row 2, Rookie of the Year candidate Dale Earnhardt Jr., a 2-time winner, but yet to win on a plate track, will be inside of row 2, and Jerry Nadeau brings the Michael Holligan Chevrolet to the outside. We'll be riding along on the Budweiser onboard camera with Dale Earnhardt Jr. throughout the afternoon. Back in row 3, it's an all Joe Gibbs row. Sensational sophomore Tony Stewart has the Home Depot Pontiac, winner of 2 of the last 3 events in NASCAR. And beside him, his teammate and current Winston Cup points leader Bobby Labonte, the Interstate Batteries Pontiac. And we'll be riding along on the Circuit City onboard camera with Bobby all afternoon. All right, our next row, Kenny Wallace on the inside, looking for her first Winston Cup win in the Square D Chevrolet. And beside him, Jeff Gordon will go to the back of the
qualifying
pack
runs by both Andy Petrie
having to go to a backup car yesterday.
Dave
How about
Marcus,
the oldest driver in the field? Dave Marcus, 59 years of age, brings the Realtree Chevy inside of row 5.
That's got to be still my favorite paint scheme on the 71. Beautiful paint scheme.
Is Steve Park.
And in row number 6, it's an all Robert Yates Racing with Ricky Rudd and Dale Jarrett. Making up row 6, row 7, we see Stacy Compton and Ken Schrader. In row number 8, John Andretti and Kevin LePage. Row number 9, we see Terry Labonte, a former winner here.
Right out the Michael Waltrip shirt today. There's Michael there, the number 7.
Bobby Hamilton and Dale Earnhardt, the defending champion of the Winston 500.
On the inside of row 11 is Ward Burton. On the outside, Jimmy Spencer. And we ride along with Ward Burton this afternoon, the Husqvarna onboard camera. In row 12, on the inside is Johnny Benson. On the outside, Mike
Thank
Skinner.
you, Easy, for checking out the
And
audio
Skinner
books there,
will let
too.
us
I really appreciate
ride
it.
around with him on board the Lowe's Chevrolet. On the inside of row 13, Elliott Sadler. And the fastest qualifying second round, Ricky Craven on the outside. In row 14, on the inside, the Valvoline Ford Mark Martin, Rich Bickle on the outside. And once again, Mark Martin allows us to be on board with him in his Valvoline Ford. And in row 15, on the inside, Rick Mast. On the outside, Ted Musgrave.
It was terrible, the circumstances surrounding it there, but the paint scheme on the 01 was actually a pretty solid paint job there. Ted Musgrave ran that year.
Rookie Dave Blaney, alongside 3-time Winston Cup champion.
Just look how lively these colors are. Just beautiful.
At Talladega. Next row is rookie Scott
There's
Pruitt
a Crimson
in
Tide paint job for
flanked by leading
Scott
rookie of the year
Pruitt, so not the Tide
contender,
Orange this week.
In the next row, Jeff Burton will have the
one of the first races for Sitco sponsored Jeff Burton. Swapped in at Charlotte earlier that month.
Wallace, the Miller Lite Ford. We'll ride along with Jeff Burton on the Parts Plus onboard camera. And of course, Rusty Wallace, the onboard camera, the Miller Lite Ford roof camera for Rusty looking for his first restrictor plate race win. Next row, Chad Little making his final start in the John Deere Ford, and beside him, Jeremy Mayfield in the Mobile One Ford for Roger Penske. We'll ride along with Jeremy from the back of the pack in 40, a starting spot, and watch him come through traffic throughout the day. And the final starters today, Robert Presley will start 41st in the Jasper Engines Ford, flanked by Brett Bodine in the Ralph Supermarkets Ford Taurus. And starting 43rd and shotgun on the field, former USAC Silver Crown champion, the Pfizer Viagra Pontiac for Milwaukee, Oregon driver Mike Blitz. Now, among those drivers that did not qualify here, Wally Dallenbach, Blaze Alexander, and Hut Strickland. Just 3 drivers and 3 cars missing the starting field here.
I believe Blaze Alexander's was still LJ Racing, but there was a Sabco coordination with that
Our
year.
race analysis showed you this one's
So
188 laps,
field.
500
91
miles.
was usually the
the
Joe Falk
largest
team.
purse in the history of the Winston 500, $2.795
Darwin
million.
Ort's effort there.
The pit window, well, that's got to be a little bit of a
Dallenbach
question mark, Benny, as to how far they can go. Not a lot of time in happy hour to determine that. And there's the race record. Ernie Irvan set it just a few years back. Back with the green flag from Talladega Super Speedway in just a moment. We welcome you back to Talladega Super Speedway.
And of course, before the
On a beautiful
repaving of
afternoon,
Talladega
getting
in
set to start
2006, you'll
check-in
see the
quickly with
old
situation updating
surface with the
Earnhardt crew
strips
chief problem.
of
Bill Weber?
tar and everything
Well,
out
Kevin
there.
Hamlin is the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt. Last night he was a driver in an exhibition monster truck race here at Talladega. You can see he is seated in the pit area today. That is because last night he has a compression fracture of the vertebrae in his back. So he's in a great deal of pain, but is in the pit area today. We'll work with Earnhardt on the radio. When Earnhardt rolled down pit road, he asked him how that truck driver is doing, and Kevin goes, "That's ex-truck driver." All Earnhardt wanted to know is if he won. He said, "I did."
I hope there are seatbelts on Kevin Hamlin's seat because he's going to need it to watch this one today. Folks, glad to have you with us. Almost 170,000 strong in the stands to watch the 32nd running of the Winston 500. Front row Joe and Awesome Bill lead him down. 43 of the world's best stock car drivers ready to get it on here at Talladega.
Rick Mass swapped in for Mike Bliss in the A.J. Foyt car very early in the 2000 season there. Billy, that's what happened with that.
And Nemechek, our pole sitter, already in the middle, already back.
Notice the color shifting paint scheme on the 33. Shifts from like red to blue.
Every yard, it seems.
He knew that he was going to be a sitting duck, and certainly he was. When Dale Earnhardt Jr. made that move down to the inside, everybody went by on each side.
He told our pit reporters during NASCAR today that he would have no shot leading that first lap, and indeed he was right. As here comes that big Budweiser Chevrolet for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh boy.
Drivers looking at NASCAR's future.
Dave Marcus already into the top 5.
Head to the tri-oval, and they will lead the first lap, first and second, but they are side by side from there on back.
It's Elliott in front of Nadu. Elliott had so many good runs that last year in the 94 car. Could have, should have won a couple races.
A little help back there. He wants to move to the front.
Look at that. Oh my goodness. Stewart with the move.
Tony Stewart in the battle for the lead. They're 3 wide. Going in turn 3. Kenny Wallace helping Tony Stewart.
Reverend Rashim, thank you for the super chat. What's my favorite NASCAR race? This is a good contender for it, I'll tell you what. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. Goodness, I mean, I'm still very partial to the last one we showed here with Jerry Nadeau's first win. I think that was probably one of the most emotional. Ricky Craven's first win at Martinsville in 2001 comes to mind.
And Dave Marcus goes up and takes
look at this.
The lead. Dave Marcus led a lap at Talladega. Wow, look at him go.
59-year-old Dave Marcus in the
just can't quite get to the bottom.
Best qualifying effort of the year. He started 9th. And has he come to the front in a hurry? But now even he gets shuffled back. As here comes Tony Stewart.
East Metal, thank you for the super chat. Very well said as well.
John Andretti and Michael Walsh.
4 wide back in the pack there.
This was on a very difficult weekend for the sport. Obviously, in hindsight, had much more significance to it. But it really shows just, how brave these drivers are and the risks that they take on.
Earnhardt Jr. led the first lap. Marcus led lap 2.
Tony Stewart, the winningest driver that season. John Andretti in the Cheerios paint scheme, the second.
Here goes John Andretti after the lead.
Andretti made a neat move down on the inside of Dale Jarrett coming off of turn 4, shot him all the way up there. Now he's wanting the lead.
And meanwhile, behind
98 500, yep, Reverend Rashim, I think that would be the one.
To see who that car is in front.
Probably 98 Martinsville, I would say, would be another one that I was very partial to. Ricky Rudd's win, Rich Bickle's 4th place finish. Any race has a lot of storylines. The 2005 Daytona 500, that would be another one I really like a lot, with a lot of great storylines. It's so hard to pick just one, but it's a very good question.
He's one of the Nobel 5 drivers. 3 wide. Ricky Rudd almost out on the apron.
Marcus got shaken out, but he's still right among the leaders there with Rudd.
And is Michael going to lead that lap? No. Tony Stewart.
Bobby Hamilton in the mix. He had all kinds of mechanical issues in that number 4 car that year, but he's running really good. They're up to second.
And here comes Andretti up on the outside.
I haven't seen Morgan McClure run that well in about 2 to 3 years at this point.
John Andretti.
Well, in the past races here, at least the last 2 or 3, that inside groove, the middle groove was not too bad, but today it doesn't look to be too good. Once you get in there, they just move the motor right on by you on either side.
And right now,
92 Hooters 500, absolutely, Ben. Absolutely. That one can't be overstated. See, the problem is, after you start thinking of a couple, the floodgates just open and you pick a whole lot.
With Tony Stewart, Pontiac Chevrolet, and a pair of Pontiacs.
That's right, Brian. Yeah, Dave only ran a few more races after this. You'll see some of those in 500 days here coming up. He was actually among the entrants for the Spring Darlington race in 01. So that'll be again in that next episode.
Backslid now. He's leading that middle pack in the middle group. There's DJ in the car number 88.
There's Elliott Sadler. I believe this is the 50th anniversary of the Wood Brothers, so they ran all these other classic paint schemes. And they ran the Kyle Petty paint job on the 21, and it almost exactly looked like Jeff Burton's paint scheme. You'll see this in 500 days as well. And they had a very hard time telling the two cars apart on this particular race weekend.
Bobby started in 6th spot, has slid back to 15th position.
And there's Jeff Gordon on the inside, who started dead last. Last time by, Gordon was running about 15th.
It's interesting to see Jerry Nadeau's car with yellow accents instead of the usual orange.
He had a good race car, and he certainly
trying to be a little easier for the spotters, I suppose.
Just doing this, Gerard along with Bobby Labonte. Look up at Jeff Gordon. He lost his primary.
Look at the camera work on this. My goodness.
Broken left front shock, ripped the fender away and part of the tire. He saved the car, but they had to go to a backup car. This is the car he started 36 with and won here in April at Talladega.
Bobby Labonte backed off the throttle. Did you see that, Ned? Cars are closing in enough. They had to back off the accelerator.
I talked to Larry McReynolds yesterday after happy hour. He said, I've never even been concerned or seen any brake dust after happy hour. But he said, I saw a lot of it on cars here after happy hour, but they were running up so fast on the other cars that they had to put their brakes on.
Well, they are 3 wide all around this racetrack.
You got some super speedway legends in the middle of the pack there. You got Jimmy Spencer, Sterling Marlin, all of them getting into the mix.
Behind him, there's Ricky Craven. And that's what they're talking about.
Even LePage was very good in this race the year before. He was in the No Bull 5 because he snuck in a top 5 in rain shortened Southern 500. He was very good in this race. Almost got the $1 million in his first win. Probably be another race to watch too.
Now there are 7 cars in a lead pack single file, but in years past, these 7 cars would pull away very, very quickly from these guys running side by side. But that has not happened now. This second pack trying to hang on.
Kenseth holding the last place spot here.
5 laps ago, Ned, and now he is back leading that second pack.
Yeah, but he'll catch up in a hurry here when we see those cars getting side by side up in front of them. They're trying to get around.
Yes, Thomas. Yep, last day for the Winston Cup Museum. Definitely added significance here for the stream today. They're definitely dedicating it to those folks out there. Mentioned them a little bit in the pre-show.
And see, Earnhardt tried to pass Ricky Rudd, and those 2 cars got side by side. Look how quickly the other cars got, but look how quickly those front cars drove away from him.
Let's check in the Earnhardt pits with Bill Weber.
The new dirty word around here is dirty air. A lot of turbulent air created by the new aerodynamic packages on these cars. It is so turbulent out there in the draft that the plastic sheet that was on Earnhardt's windshield that they used to tear off during the race so he gets a clean windshield was ripped off by the turbulent air. He radioed in and said, you don't need to take it off. It's already gone.
Wow. Now how about a father and son hookup? Earnhardt Jr. pushing his dad down the straightaway. Can he push the lead? Right now they're back in about 9th or 10th position.
Of course, the last super speedway race before the 2001 Daytona 500, you know NASCAR was watching this. They knew they weren't going to change the aero package too much for that race.
Down the corner, you can't push your car straight in the corner you've got now. As he gets on the straightaway, here's a good spot, he moves up.
Having a great evening here. MF Yeats, thank you so much for tuning in.
You just saw him bumping him.
Evan Rashid, yep, 94 Brickyard 400, absolutely. That's another great candidate.
One of those for the No Bull $5 million.
See Elliott Sadler, that throwback scheme there to the inside.
Out of the Wood Brothers stable.
The outside line is just not going, Ned, like we've seen it in the past.
No, it isn't. That's a little bit surprising, Benny. Of course, we know that the inside line is the shortest way around the racetrack, but right now that inside
Death Killer, you're thinking the 98 Pocono race, Darryl Rutherford and Mark's car? Yeah, that was a good one, too. Again, it's hard to tell between a good race and a good moment. I mean, this race here pretty much has a good combination of both. I mean, it's such a fantastic race start to finish, and of course the way it ended, too.
As you watch Bill Elliott make his move, how many times this year have we said, as Awesome Bill makes a move back in line, that sensational sophomore Tony Stewart is leading today. in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. The Home Depot.
That's right, Brian. Yeah, as you can see, it actually separates the pack up quite a bit. I mean, it isn't just one pack and nobody can go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
A little bit of strategy can break things up.
Welcome back to Talladega for more Hold Your Breath racing.
Now, I bet you're not hoping for a caution when the racing is this good. See, that's the exciting
the
part.
Outside.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon moved up on the outside and really made that outside groove come into play. As a matter of fact, he's moved all the way to the front.
Unbelievable, Benny. Jeff Gordon starts 43rd.
There's Jerry.
And has passed 42 cars. And here on lap number 13, it looks like he will lead this race. Now, he actually qualified 8th, had to drop to the back of the field for the green flag. And now...
Earnhardt slipping through.
What an effort.
And there's Kenny Wallace. I almost said Bobby Hamilton, thinking 2001 versus 2000. Look at this. And, I mean, you got everybody's there, but there is, as Ryan mentioned, yeah, everybody's separated just enough that you can change lanes if you want to. You're not just have a whole line of cars freight training by you.
Something will happen. He goes backwards. Jerry Nadeau was in second spot just a moment ago, and Earnhardt goes.
And no yellow line rule. Thank goodness for that.
Nine-time winner at Talladega. He won both events in 1999. He won this
Ward
race.
Burton, pretty sure this is the same chassis they put the Dodge on for 2001. His best Super Speedway
Look
car.
at these fans on their feet waving those hats. That's what it's all about. They want to see him on their feet screaming and waving as Earnhardt leads Ward Burton. But here comes Gordon with some drafting help on the outside. Will Earnhardt lead this lap? Yes, he will.
About the same amount of time it took him to get up front in Daytona. I mean, there is just so much talent deep through this field. Even if you're driving for like a small team.
In the middle, but he's
my
about
goodness.
6th or 7th position right now and has a car behind
Chad
him.
Little in the last place. A lot of the Roush guys struggling early here.
Well, we saw the 88 car up toward the front about 5 or 6 laps ago. Now he has dropped back significantly. Ray Dunlap, what's the problem?
Well, Jerry, after they started 12th, DJ said the car was pretty good, but all of a sudden the water temperature started going up. A lot of these guys have these cars taped off a lot in the front to try to get aerodynamics. So with that temperature going up into the 230 range, they decided they needed to get out and get some more air. So DJ dropped back a little bit so that he could be out of traffic. I think the exact same thing is what's going on with Bobby Labonte. So a couple of these guys with cars that are getting very, very warm.
Definitely let me know in the chat what's your favorite paint scheme from the 2000 Cup season. There's a lot of big ones to pick. This race showcases them well. If I had to pick one, it would still, I think, be Jerry's Michael Hooligan car. It just, my eyes always go to it every time. But there's a lot of other ones too. I mean, I love the Bell South paint schemes. Dale Jarrett's car is always, I mean, my goodness.
Jerry, just to follow on Ray just said, that's why the 3 car got in the outside lane a few laps ago. Earnhardt's temps were going up. He called in, I got to get out and get some air. If he's in front, he gets plenty of air. John?
Well, Ray Dunlap was absolutely right about Bobby Labonte running just a little bit warm. 205 on the water, 230 on the oil. Drop back, try to get some more air into that front opening, which is very, very small. Trying
Rick
to keep the car
Stacy
cool,
Compton back there.
Cool.
See how far he's staying
Elliot
back
McDonald's
behind the 88
car, Square D car.
Staying pretty far back behind the car.
Arlen's regular scheme, Bluegrass,
so
yep.
As much
good picks,
clean,
good
fresh
picks.
air as possible.
Juniors and seniors.
You say, well, why did they put the tape on the grill?
Dale Jr. and Dale Earnhardt, as he always pointed out.
The more tape you can run on the grill, the faster the car will run, because any air that goes in, hits the radiator, hits the engine, will slow the car down. But you have to get it right. You have to keep the water temperature around 200 degrees with as much tape as you possibly can.
Back up front, there's the line, there's the conga line. They try to break each other's draft, but now with that huge hole, these cars punching the wind.
Yeah, exactly, no bump draft. That's a very good point there, Brian. Yeah, you're not seeing people slamming into each other, much less in the corners. And again, just lap after lap of this, you're not waiting for a caution with this. I mean, it can be nerve-wracking, but still.
They're
actually racing out there.
some here at Talladega, but they have given the driver.
Billy, yeah, Kyle Petty's
Yes, they have.
Hot Wheels
They
paid
like that.
for sure.
Those
Seen a few
results
votes for
we've
that,
seen
as well as
in the past
Andretti's
that we
Cheerios
have.
car.
I looked on the scoreboard.
I was not a
after
big
about
fan
the
of
third lap,
Andretti's
and
Cheerios one,
43rd
especially
place
the
car
second
was
half
a
of
little over 4
2000, but
seconds behind the leader.
it's growing on me.
Right
I
now,
still
the
think I
last
like the
lap
first
around,
half
Chad
one
Little,
better.
who was running
But
43rd,
yeah.
is 4.7 seconds behind the leader, so it hasn't changed a whole lot.
How about that? NASCAR wanted to keep them together. The drivers wanted better racing. The fans wanted a better show. I believe we've accomplished that so far, as we are 18 laps in it, and
Badger's
we've
getting a
had
little
5
fidgety here.
different leaders. As that outside
Hang
line,
on,
though,
buddy.
here comes Mike Skinner with a little help from his friends.
I'd have to let the dog
Jeff
out here,
Gordon and
folks.
company.
I will step away, but I'll let this
They do,
keep
and see if
playing.
Skinner can lead.
Come on,
He
buddy.
had a run coming down through the tri-oval, and Skinner is in the lead now. Can he lead when he get back to the start-finish line? In fact, it's showing that he was the leader when they came across the start-finish line.
Mike Skinner, his best finish of this year came here in April. He actually finished right behind the guy who's chasing him right now, Jeff Gordon.
We got a lot of Chevrolets up front here right now, and a lot of them thought with the 1-inch restrictor plate that maybe the Chevrolets had a little bit of an advantage. And after they went to that 15/16, some of the Chevrolet drivers and teams were saying, hey, that hurt us more than it did the Fords. But right now, Benny, there are 8 Chevrolets out front of the first Ford of Bill Elliott.
Yeah, well, what all the complainers going down in the morning, what you're going to read about in the morning, the Chevrolets have a 2-inch smaller, more narrow rear spoiler than the Fords and Pontiacs. And everyone was just screaming about what a Chevrolet runaway was going to be.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Oh, LePage blowing up. Oh, no. See, I'm bad luck. Come back, 16's dropping out.
Back straight will be headed to pit road to Pat Tryson and his crew to see if they can determine what the problem may be.
Last time by, Kevin LePage was running in the 11th position.
And we understand that maybe it's an engine. You wonder if he had that overheating problem and stayed out there and kept running. But now he's
that family click car is a very underrated paint scheme too. Very unusual. And white on the front, but it kind of an unusual, like purplish, pinkish color on the back. Very strange.
Start. Back with more from Talladega in just a moment. Back at Talladega Super Speedway, we left you a moment ago. Mike Skinner was the leader. That didn't last for long, about 2 laps, and then
the results of LePage did get last. 20 laps completed for him. Ignition problem was the listed reason out. This was his 3rd last place finish in the Cup Series.
So far, among 6 different drivers, and we are just 24 laps in to the Winston 500.
Still running 4 abreast at times. There you see 2 packs of 3 abreast.
I love this shot off the corner. I mean, my goodness, the way the light twinkles off the windshields.
On the inside, Jeff Gordon leading the group on the outside.
And you watch these 2 packs still riding side by side, single file. Let's check in the Kevin LePage pits with Ray.
Well, Jerry, it wasn't a tape-off problem on the front of the number 16. They didn't have much tape on the front at all. Kevin radioed in and said, I lost oil pressure, so he shut it off. They're behind the wall right now taking a look at it. They don't know if it's terminal or not, but it was oil pressure, not water temperature.
Kevin LePage, the first to retire here, the 43 starters.
If that gauge read 0 on the oil pressure, he's got a problem, and I'm pretty sure it's terminal.
Take a look, Bill Elliott now.
The outside line trying to get a run here.
He's in an inside line in 4th position.
He was, Bill was, when I mentioned that a moment ago about the GM cars, I should have said GM cars, not Chevrolets, because there are some Pontiacs in that mix up front there. But Bill Elliott was 9th at that time. Now he's moved up to 6th. And there's the last place car, that 97 of Chad Little. And he's still only 4.6 seconds behind the leader.
There you go. Yeah, Kurt Busch had come on board already for the Fall Dover race. I'm sure still didn't have clearance for the Super Speedway here, despite running the Daytona truck race that year. Chad Little running this one.
Dale Earnhardt continuing to lead here at Talladega.
Steve Grissom with a decent run. He's in the top 20 driving Kyle Petty's car. Dave Marcus still 1.6 seconds back, or 1.8 seconds back there, at 23rd. What's your thoughts on this ticker box in the top left? I never really minded this. Like, it's a little hard to show a progression of somebody through the field. But, I mean, it gets the job done. It's small. It's in the corner. And you get this nice clear shot here to the middle there. Very nice.
We're back 2 or 4 spots back winning there.
They were 35th and 36th about 3 laps ago. Now they're beginning to move up a little bit.
Still getting some space between themselves and the car in front of them. Trying. Now looks like that Gordon and Skinner got a good run, but not enough to get on the outside and challenge Earnhardt.
Yeah, Sidon, that's a very good point. Yeah, the sound is just exhausting on that side. That could be a factor. But you get a lot of infield shots of the cars, not the outfield. And yeah, just like an explosion to come on the backstretch.
The Midwest Transit car number 50 right in front of Kenny Schrader. They have been basically glued together on that high line.
Whoa, Bill Elliott all the way down below the yellow line, had to back out of it. He was very fortunate there that others behind him were observant and didn't try to crowd him, gave him room to back out of it and get back behind him.
Tony Stewart had to make an evasive move to go by Bill Elliott as now Jeff Gordon goes to the front.
Yeah, very good point, Charles. Yeah, not the last Cup start for Chad Little. But I believe his last in the 97 before Kurt rounded out the season. But yes, Chad drove some races with Base, which is interesting because he ran Base in the Busch Series in 2001. Kind of a last-minute deal.
Position on the outside of the 25 kind of pushes Nadu down to the middle. He closes up on the.
I like how you can hear a little bit of the track PA at the same time too. The audio mixing is pretty nice.
Prefer to make that move on the outside because the wall is a lot closer to the outside line than it is the inside line. In case you have a problem, go and smack the wall. You don't have far to go. It doesn't hurt quite as much. And look how much that Jeff Gordon, how much space he lost since the last time by to that inside line.
Mike Skinner comes down in behind Ricky Rudd. Doesn't want to caught that middle net. He realizes that inside line has been the place to be.
Yes, the middle group has not been the place to be so far in this race, and that's a little bit surprising that he found out very quickly that he was going towards the back, and so as soon as he got an opportunity to fall in there behind Ricky Rudd, he took that opportunity.
Well, we have 29 laps in the books at Talladega with Earnhardt, Burton, Stewart, Elliott,
Jerry Nadu still in the top 10. Ricky Craven from Midwest Transit, a 9th spot. Fantastic run for that team. Even in 2000, they were kind of on the margins, and so that's a good performance out of him. Hal Hicks effort.
UPS still in the early laps, and there they are from high above. Panoramic shot of Talladega Superspeedway, courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil. And our Pennzoil copter cam, you can see him 3 wide and now 4 wide.
And Bobby Labonte is right in the middle of all of that mix. In fact, he drove right up there into the middle, coming off turn 2. He had a tremendous run. There was no place.
Stewart looking high on Earnhardt again. Marcus, middle of a 4-wide battle there. Holy cow.
Meanwhile, back for the lead, Tony Stewart, who led earlier, has now fought his way back. Bill Elliott in the Ford.
Ford Burton linked with Earnhardt, much like he was in the 2001 500.
GM cars.
And Ricky Rudd has fought his way. He dropped back to about 20 for something about 5 laps ago. Here he is now up there.
Steve Park looking good.
And Ned, speaking of dropping
about
back,
12th there, looks like.
Car of Jeff Gordon is now backslid to 20th position. As he is going backwards, the 18 and the 88 of Bobby Labonte and Dale Jarrett are coming forward. So we're seeing a little reversal from what we saw in the first 15.
Look at that. This is a beautiful field. My goodness. And yeah, everybody has plenty of room to really make moves.
I respect all and admire all of these drivers for the patience that they have shown so far and the respect that they've given their fellow driver out there.
Ooh, Marcus with a big run gets to the high lane.
Not making this basic move. Here's DJ trying to move around Dale Earnhardt Jr.
That Aaron's paint scheme for Benson was a little chaotic. Not a bad one, though. Not as good as Lyco's paint scheme.
Now, chassis doesn't come into play as much on this racetrack as it does at Daytona. Certainly not as much as it does a lot of other racetracks. But then we run far enough now that maybe if you're off a little bit, it might begin to show.
Ooh, Benson checking up a little bit.
Perfect right now. You are starting to feel the drivers are not having to squeeze out the throttle.
And yes, of course, the No Bull 5. You see the 5 contenders in the top left. I believe it was still the Southern 500. That was the previous round. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat there, but yeah.
All 3 have have very, very strong race cars.
Well, they made that middle groove work there, and maybe that's the difference, is having strong race cars in there as opposed to seeing in the past it hasn't worked too good for them. Maybe they didn't have the right drafting partner or whatever the case might be, but certainly they're making it work.
And there's Jeremy Mayfield right in the middle. 3 wide behind the red, white, and blue car. That is the 12 of Jeremy Mayfield. Looking back at Sterling Marlin, we see Dale Jarrett on the right side of the screen. And look at this, 193 miles per hour. He goes squeeze out the throttle just a little bit.
I have to say, yeah, I'm not a fan of the stage cautions either. We have a race like this. We haven't had a single caution in like 30 laps, but nobody's expecting one. Like, it's just like you're just enjoying the racing. You're just watching the ride, man.
There right now. Johnny Winston goes by some cars.
There's Mayfield running the. Oh, it's not the Kentucky Derby. I think it's the All-Star. Is it the All-Star game? Baseball All-Star game? It is the fall.
When this race is over,
the All-Star game's in July, isn't it?
In every position because he's going to be in most of them.
He's already been in a lot of different positions. Certainly been in a lot of traffic.
Roush cars way lagging back. Oh my goodness, there's 3 of them there.
Including Jeff Burton, the guy second in points. What's going on with him, Bill Weber?
Hey there, Albert. Thanks for tuning in.
Captain Provisional. I tried to get a straight answer out of Frank Stoddard, his crew chief. I said, you're still way in the back.
Burton's car sounds like
we're 3 seconds behind the leader.
It's bogging down.
What he said is it's an LA traffic jam in front of us. We're waiting for the traffic cop to wave us through. But in reality, this appears to be part of a plan because Burton just called in and he not only talked to Frank Stoddard, but he talked to Robbie Reiser, who's the crew chief for Matt Kenseth, and said, have Matt close up a little bit. We don't want to lose these guys in front of us.
We're about to lose Darrell Waltrip here in the process.
Right now, they think it's safer where they're at, but they are not frustrated. This is part of a plan. They're doing okay.
Well, thanks, Bill. We'll keep an eye on those Roush-Coutiers toward the back of the pack there with.
Yeah, listen, he's really lifting off the throttle coming off the corner.
Running toward the back. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, if they're deliberately lagging back, that'll be the way to do it. You're not going to get much momentum with that.
7-time Winston Cup champion and Mr. Restrictor Plate, Dale Earnhardt Sr. leading the way at Talladega. 10 wins in restrictor plate competition, and Earnhardt showing.
Earnhardt not just leading at the end of this race, but
back in just a moment.
Having one of the best cars too. Wow. Doesn't matter if he qualified 20th or not.
Well, the Vikings are a powerhouse in the NFL, and how about Mr. Earnhardt, Mr. Restrictor Plate? What a powerhouse he is at Daytona and Talladega.
10 wins at these 2 racetracks, 31 top 5s, and he just goes on over 2,000 laps led, and he keeps adding to that, make it 2,085 right now. We can't do that, but he just keeps adding to that total. Ooh, Bobby Hamilton up on the outside was 4 wide as he goes down the corner, and he's just up on the outside.
Boy!
Looks like about 4 wide.
Sadler's just trying to hang on to Gordon there.
Trying to fight his way back to the front. There he is riding the number 33 car. Right
just
now,
a big log jam. Bottom 2 lanes getting some motion there.
I think he's probably about 15th now.
Wallace and the
yeah, Nick Tucker, good question. Yeah, it was cleared up earlier in here. Dr. Jerry punched me in the play-by-play guy because Bob Jenkins covering IRL that weekend. Is it Auto Rockin' Racing? I think it was you did.
Got a run here.
Brought that up.
Bill side by side with the banking Earnhardt trying to hold off. Awesome Bill. And Bill
man, oh man.
Push,
see, again, Elliott should have won the July Daytona race. Could have won the 500, really, but Jarrett had just too good of a car.
The reason we're seeing a lot of passing here is there's a lot of cars with different rear-end gear ratios because they weren't sure what this plate was going to do. We've got a variable all the way from about a 294 up to a 315 rear gear.
Yeah, Steelworks, yep. I like that paint scheme, too. Larry Floyd's car.
Depending on what gear you're in, which most guys come down pit road in second gear, your variable will be about 3,500 to 3,700. But Robert Yates just got on the radio and told Dale Jarrett, why don't you try using first gear coming down pit road? It'll help get you here a lot quicker. He's got to keep his track at 5,300 RPMs. So the rear end gear is certainly a big issue here, and a lot of cars trying different strategies.
That's certainly something to consider. consider as the day goes on, particularly talking about fuel mileage, and guys may be moving in on some pit stops. If you watch Bill Elliott, who became our 7th.
There's one angry pack back there.
11th lead change. What about pit strategy?
Well, they're coming around to complete their 43rd lap. And in the past several years, they could run about 50 to 55 laps on a tank of fuel. I don't believe that they can run that long now with the bigger restriction plate and also with those things up on the roof and the taller spoilers. That's going to pull a little bit more fuel.
There's Grissom working his way back in there, too. Inside line, about 15th place that time.
And ran out of fuel, ended up losing a lap, and that cost him a very, very good possible top 10 finish.
So you have to be sure that you don't run out of fuel, because if you do it at the start-finish line, the time you coast around, you're going to lose a tremendous amount of distance. We talked about Jeff Burton back in 4th position. He's 4 seconds behind the leader.
It's getting compressed again. Everybody coming back together.
In touch with the pack. But if you lose 4 seconds, if you lose 1 second.
Marcus still right there in the thick of it, right behind Nemechek.
300 yards on the racetrack. You may never get called back up.
Schrader to
outside lane,
top 15.
Pontiac, and Kenny Schrader, who got his very first win at this racetrack back in July of 1988. Schrader having a good run. In the car number 36, behind him.
Oh yeah, 2,500 would have been. I mean, the 99 500 was so good. Now you did have very different body styles in 2000 for the Chevys and Fords, so I don't know if that would have necessarily been a one-to-one thing. You think about how different the 95 500 was from 94 with the new Chevys. But yeah, the shock package definitely was a problem in that 2,500.
Listing the crew chiefs, they're talking to
by now they'd really kind of loosened that up for this race.
Come back in just a moment and cover the first round of pit stops at Talladega in a moment.
I love the music. It's such high quality here on NASCAR Classics.
Speedway, 45-year-old Bill Elliott leading the way. And pit stops are beginning. Here comes Rusty Wallace down pit road toward Robin Pemberton and company.
Well, Rusty Wallace makes the long trip down pit road. The engine is running, so they're not out of fuel, but you would have to believe that perhaps the light flashed. And Rusty on pit road basically all by himself.
Yeah, you get the bright orange still on Tide Crew there for the 32 team.
Clean the windshield around to the left side. Fuel still going in. The field still on the backstretch. Watching for Craven to come down pit road. His car's still on pit road. Rusty will go off by himself. He will be all by himself. Very lonely.
Craven really far behind him.
Now other drivers are coming into the pits this time around as Ricky Craven goes out. Others are coming.
I don't remember speeding penalties in this Bluegrass. Good question.
But they'll catch him on the backstretch. Takes a long time to get these cars up to speed.
Here's Jeff Gordon down pit road. There's the car number 4, Bobby Hamilton there. Kenny Wallace is there. There's the Tide car, Scott Pruitt. Johnny Benson is on pit road.
Musgrave.
Ted Musgrave in the Bell South car, the 01. Let's go down to Gordon's pit and watch this action here. Those guys got to try to get 4 tires up.
No Bull 5 numbers just look really nice. Those bright orange
stop.
ones.
Gordon had to tiptoe into his pit stall. The car is just a little bit loose. Make a panel bar adjustment. Send him around to the left side. Put on 2 more tires on the left side. Then send Gordon back out.
Yeah, the black and gold was the best, Joe. That's for sure. The blue and white, that never really stuck with me. When they changed that to like 96, 97, it just didn't look as right. He made it look pretty good, but then the problem was, I always think blue and white, I think Mark Martin. I never think Rusty Wallace. I just thought it was strange. He had a couple of years where the cars looked almost exactly identical. I mean, yeah, they're both Fords, but for completely different teams.
Kevin Graham and Dan Ford ready to service. Awesome Bill Elliott. Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
88 and 28 are in here, Jerry. As the 88 said, we don't need any chassis adjustment.
Oh, you're right. Yep, I think I did do. In the terrible broadcast, I pointed out the Jeff Burton penalty. You're right. Very good point.
Point leader Bobby Labonte is in a 4-tire
Good point, Matt Jones.
Not making any chassis adjustments to Bill Weber.
It's 4 tires for Earnhardt. Left's going on. You see triple pits. Earnhardt's on his way. Dale Jr. behind him. The 43 was all here. And the racetrack pit road is underway.
And Bill Elliott was the first one of this group to exit pit road, although he did not have the quickest stop because of where he was pitting at the far end. He was able to beat. And now Earnhardt is being shipped in front of Elliott as they come up on the racing surface. Remember, these were green flag pit stops.
Another car we finally get a glimpse of, Mike Bliss. The Pfizer Viagra car, the number 27 behind Sterling Marlin.
Let's go to John Curtis.
Haven't really seen that paint scheme that much, but he had a pretty solid run in this race.
The back of the pack is in for his pit stop before tire change. They also made a chassis adjustment on the left rear to Bill Weber.
And as we talked about this part of the plan, they wanted to make sure pit road was clear. They were able to stay out another lap. Apparently a fuel mileage attempt here by the Roush guys. It's 4 tires for Burton working on the left side. They cleaned the grill. He's got fuel, and now he will be held. Jeff Burton is being held by the official. This would have to be, I would imagine, too fast down pit road. Being held for 15 seconds. This will be very costly. Burton is on his way. We'll check.
All 4 Roush cars, or 4 Roush cars, I should say, pitting on that lap, the 17, the 99, the 97.
I don't think Dick Trickle was in this race. I don't think.
Well, that will be.
So I know the Don Levy team wasn't here, and he didn't drive for LJ, which had the Blaze Alexander injury.
Now Mark Martin on pit road, and he's a very lonely figure. A track bar adjustment on the rear. Now they come around to the left side. Again, 4 tires for all these cars. Fuel going in. Mark, no complaints about the car. Working on the left-hand side. Fuel going in. Now having some trouble with the left front. They could not see the left front
slow
tire
stop.
line. Finally got it on the studs. Tighten the lug nuts. Mark's on his way.
Also, Michael Waltrip exiting pit road, and Stacy.
Good question, Jason Newman. I mean, the transition between painting and wraps was around this time. You still had deals like the thing on the Joe Nemechek car with the color shifting paint. Jeff Gordon, you think about William Byron's throwback from earlier this year at Darlington. Jeff Gordon's original scheme was 98 in the Winston that he ran that. But Nemechek's car is kind of similar to that here with the paint.
And the 7 car all of a sudden was leading the race as you run out of fuel, Ned.
Well, I wonder, will the heaters come out of the pits?
Yeah, interesting to have the number that high on the door, too.
He's on pit road with the 6 car and the 9 car, and it looks like he's trying to get up to speed.
I think that's what the situation is. It does take a long time to get these cars up to speed. He had taken the lead as a result of staying out on the track while others pitted.
It was so bizarre when Mark Martin went to the Viagra paint scheme in 2001. They marketed the heck out of it. But that one transitional year where they sponsored Eel River Racing, which was the big deal because that was like the first year they'd sponsored anybody in NASCAR, they really didn't do a big marketing push in terms of like souvenirs or anything like that. I don't think they even did. I mean, they did commercials, but I mean, I don't know. They didn't push him very much. I think part of that was probably because Jeff Fuller got swapped out for Bliss early in the year. Kind of similar to the Tabasco fiasco situation.
There you see the cars that pitted just a moment ago.
There you go, Troggle. Good point there on the wraps. There you go. You get a closer look at that. I mean, there's
Whitaker, the rear tire changer on Joe Nemechek's car.
different looking paint scheme there on Nemechek. Again, the Charlie Daniels paint job. Also ran a version of it in the Bud Shootout in 2001 that he earned a spot because of the pole for this race.
Along with Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, right down
that ended up playing a factor in the finish of this race as well.
Action of the 32nd running of the Winston 500 presented by UPS.
Yeah, no free Viagra samples the track. Yeah, good point there, Brian.
The 37th place car of Stacy Compton is 3 seconds behind the leader, Bill Elliott. But Jeff Burton, here he is with Rick Mast in the green number 14, Burton in the middle, and Ricky Craven in the
Look at that, 99 Chevrolet.
They are more than
Craven.
20 seconds behind the leader and losing ground every lap.
That'd be a massive disadvantage at a super speedway to not have the current body style. So used to seeing older bodies on cars at road courses or short tracks where you're going to be bending fenders and stuff anyway.
Elliott, great pit work in first, out first. Earnhardt lost 7 spots. Earnhardt Jr., that is. Earnhardt Sr. lost 10 spots. Kenseth gained quite a bit, and Ricky Rudd basically...
Yeah, I don't remember any Viagra shirts or hats back in 2000. It seemed like it was 2001 and after with Mark Martin that it became more established. I found an Eel River hat on eBay a while back, and it didn't have any Viagra ones. It just had the Eel River and the 27 on it. $200 a pint, yeah. I think that was it, Charlie. A Chrome Illusion.
The 50 was there. They had to come down on that lap, which was 49, because
they weren't sure 100%.
Starting to see Rich Bickle more in the 60 car, the Power Team Joe Bessie entry. This was going to be Rock Racing when Hermie Sadler was trying to buy it. Ultimately fell through.
Ward Burton, he was running in the 4th spot last time he came by the pit road area, but his water temperature is reading at 280 degrees. So his crew chief Tommy Baldwin said every now and then kind of get out of the draft a little bit to get some air into the radiator to cool things off. And Tommy also said, Bud, don't worry about it because
Scott, I didn't know that. Very interesting.
Here. And also Michael Waltrip, when he left pit road, a little bit of problem getting up to speed, as we could see and we documented. Talked to his crew chief Bobby Kennedy. He said, I don't know if there's a problem. Michael didn't tell me there was a problem, but he did come up to speed.
Whoa, boy! Just trying to get under Rusty and not better of it.
A real good pit stop from James
Man, oh man!
This car he's driving today, the first
Michael Waltrip there almost got himself into trouble.
When Johnny went to get off of pit road, he said, I just lost second gear. That doesn't matter when they're racing right now, but next time he comes down for a pit stop could be a big problem for Benson, who now does not have second gear.
I'm surprised that Michael Waltrip, now his car is up to speed. It looks like that he had lost a cylinder, something had happened, but now back up to speed. And Earnhardt is trying everything he knows to get back up to the front. He's working his way. He's right beside Joe Nemechek. He was 10th a couple of laps ago. He's in 5th or 6th position.
And Bill Elliott is showing the way. Awesome.
It's a good question, Orlando Lion Fan Club there about Ford. Yeah, I mean, it's I remember Robert Presley's car had a very different engine note that year. He was driving for the Jasper team. Might have been something to do with it too.
At Daytona in July, got tapped from behind another car. Spawn hit the wall, finished 38th. They rebuilt this car.
Sounded like it was a deeper note than the Chevys or Pontiacs.
Showing here early on. Look at that, 14 lead changes among 9 different drivers.
As Earnhardt in the 3 and the 33 of Nemechek get side by side, it allows those cars in front of them that's lined up in a line to pull away from them by just a little bit. But that's not a big problem. As soon as Earnhardt and Nemechek settles this dispute for them, they'll get it.
It's amazing. You know, a lot of this race, you have about 4 or 5 cars that break away, and everyone else is locked in like 2 and 3 wide.
That they will continue to race side by side back there.
There's Marcus still staying there with Earnhardt.
You're right. I think even if they lose half a straightaway, I think they'd still be able to catch back up.
Nemechek's done a pretty good job of working his way back after being shuffled early on. Good pit work in the pits, but a crew down there, the Oakwood Homes crew, and now he's trying to battle his way back side by side with Earnhardt. A little bit of a push from behind by Ricky Rudd.
Scott Pearl's also doing a good job in the 32 car. He started back quite a ways.
So you're starting to see more of Bliss, starting to see more of these other drivers that were further back in the pack. I mean, it may be a super speedway race where you can think that everybody has a chance. You can still have drivers that you see at different phases of the race. See, now Grissom, who's in the top 20, he's back at 30th.
In our coverage on Saturday Night Prime Time, when they had a huge win over.
Yeah, Sadler, Spencer in 34th. He was like mid-pack at the beginning. It's getting tightened up here. The high lane doesn't really have anything going, but the other 2 lanes are working.
Outside of Dale Jarrett, but he just couldn't muster enough speed to pull up there.
He's got Dave Marcus behind trying to help him.
Next field fillers, Billy, good question. I'm actually got a couple interviews for another episode. It's not for the John Carter one. That one I'm still working, I'm still getting the beginnings of the script on it. I actually have a follow-up to a previous field fillers episode that I want to kind of follow up on before we get to the next one. But you'll see why when it gets together. But that's another project I'm working on. I actually was working on the transcription for that just last night.
Got to be enjoying his run here today. Marcus hanging on, back in 7th position. If you look down from high above Talladega at that 4,000-foot back straightaway. Let's check in down in the Jeff Burton pits with Bill Weber.
Well, as you guys in the booth pointed out, the 99 car was penalized for one man going over the wall too soon. Watch this video. There are 2 Sitco cars on the track.
Here
one
we go.
is Elliott Sadler, one is Jeff Burton.
There's how similar they look.
Here, as they come down pit road, you see even our camera guy almost followed the wrong Sitco car. The Jackman looked at the 21 instead of the 99 and started to go over the wall, only put 1 foot over, but then that's what resulted in the penalty. The 2 cars looking very similar coming down pit road.
There you go.
Wow, I hadn't thought about that. And you know what? They're both blue and white. in this particular race. Elliott Sadler has a different paint job, and they look almost identical.
And they're pitting 3 pits apart, so that was an honest mistake. Wasn't meant to gain an advantage at all for Jeff Gordon, but what it did was hurt him quite a bit on the racetrack.
Yeah, he is now 24 seconds behind the leader and losing ground every lap. He's in a 3-car draft and simply not running fast as this front group is running.
Elliott, Andretti, and Dale Jarrett. Ford, Pontiac, and Ford. The first Chevrolet is now 5 car lengths back. That is Earnhardt.
Elliott trying to break away.
Big Caterpillar colors for Lloyd Burton. Well, he's a 2-time winner here at Talladega. Remember that dominating performance back in 1985 when Awesome Bill made up 2
I love
laps
these
to
bumpers
win
they did here with the drivers and the cars. That's just fantastic.
After 64 laps, we'll be right back.
Even when somebody weird like Marcus is up in the top 10, you got driver graphics and everything ready to go.
He told us before the race, I'm going to be a sitting duck, and boy, was he Karnak or what? Take a look, they went by on both sides.
Going down in turn 1, Earnhardt Jr. started 3rd, dove to the inside. They got Nemechek in the middle, and he has been just dusted on both sides. But now I think he went back as far as 15th or 20th, but now he's back up to the
slowly. Even when they're too wide, they still reel in the lead 4 or 5 cars that break away. Great balance of single file drafting and pack racing.
Not able to drive away from them.
Long Winston Cup victory came in September.
And again, 69 green flag laps.
Looking for his 2nd career victory, but first ever at Talladega. As he's holding on to the inside groove there right in front of Ricky Rudd.
Just looking high.
Dave Marcus on the high side there. Those cars are 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
And it is interesting, Jerry, you mentioned a moment ago that they're running side by side there for a long time, but still.
Slap Shoes video talking about the significance of winning a race versus a championship. This is a great example of it. I mean, Bobby Labonte, again, by this point, is cruising towards the Winston Cup in a full season championship format. And yeah, the focus is, okay, yeah, can you keep that going? And, is somebody going to have a good points day? But still, the battle is, who's going to win the race? You can still focus on that.
Maybe Jeremy Mayfield is off the pace. Something has happened to the Mobile 1 Ford. I believe it's Jeremy.
Yep, Mayfield dropping back.
They had their troubles in practice. He only got a couple laps.
Oh, is that the World Series? Yeah, I guess not the All-Star game.
He just waves people by. Jeremy Mayfield.
Yeah, there's a World Series logo there.
Had 6 consecutive DNFs until that 2nd place finish last Sunday at Lowe's Motor Speedway. So 6 of the last 7 events, they've had horrendous luck, and looks like it may be biting him again as Jeremy gets slower and slower on the racetrack.
Well, he pushed the car up in neutral and turned the engine off, which is a very, very bad sign. It's like almost obvious that he has an engine problem with the car. John Kernan.
Jeremy Mayfield is headed to the garage area. He radioed his crew
chief to make that left turn.
Said,
there it goes.
There's something wrong. Could be the engine. Could be the rear end. They asked him to check the ignition box. He said to switch to the secondary ignition. He said, I've already done that. That's not the problem. So he is headed back to the garage area. They're going to put up on jack stands and see exactly what.
Amazing all the little rattling sounds it's making as it's coasting through the garage there.
He had come from 40th starting spot all the way to the top 10 and now heads to the garage area. Close is the field. We told you they were only just a few seconds apart. They're going to hold this shot and watch the leader come by and go from 1st to 36th position. Just that fast. That's how.
There we go. Puts in perspective.
Take a couple of hiccups and a deep breath, and 36 has already gone by.
That was 3.1 seconds.
Any thoughts on who gets the 16, the Rick Ware car for this season? Not sure. I guess it depends what Yaley's going to do. Yaley seems like he's been the kind of consistent standard bearer for that program. Then, of course, you have the news that just came out this week of Cody Ware being reinstituted. What's going to happen with that? I understood from the reports that talked about the sponsorship that they lost after his arrest back in April. How's that going to shake out?
The old master Earnhardt.
You got Justin Haley over there already.
He just refuses to go backwards. He goes down and Tries to slow the 22 car down to try to get some push from the 71 car.
Is it literally going to be running the 16, like not using his colleague, not running that, or?
Interstate Batteries Pontiac riding back in the back of the pack.
Yeah, Rick Ware Racing, they worked with Larry Gunselman in 2000.
Most comfortable point mark of the season, 252 points coming in with just 5 events remaining.
He did something with Gunselman in like 2011, 2012. There, I think 2012 in that era. And then yeah, the 51 entry was I think a bit further down the road, like maybe 2015. I want to say. I gotta have to actually look it up. Yeah, 16's Pollock, yeah. That makes sense.
Members watch and wait. After 72 laps, Awesome Bill showing the way.
Meanwhile, nothing has changed since we left you. Bill Elliott still leads.
He mistyped 16 and Rick Ware. Okay, I was wondering if there was something going on with that, because I don't see Rick Ware not using 51 and 15.
Dave Marcus has taken over that 5th spot, and Sterling Marlin appears to be off the pace.
Ooh, that engine sounds flat.
Benny, at first they thought it was an alternator problem. Now it's starting to miss. When he went by, the crew listened, says like it's down a complete cylinder. So Sterling Marlin on the track, but off the pace. We go to John.
In the garage area with Jeremy Mayfield, whose crew is working on the car. Jeremy, what happened?
I'm not sure. We're trying to find out or something. This Mobile 1-4's been done a good job. You know, we started in the back, worked our way up, just going as planned. You know, rest of the side, we're going to try to make laps here, get to the end, and made it seem like we had a lot of bad luck. You know, but you know, everybody did a good job. And just that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, that's right, Scott Feldhausen. Yeah, Rick Ware back in the even the starting park era there in 04.
Yeah, my feet were burning pretty bad. It was like the exhaust temps were way up or something. So we have to look at it and see what happened. But still, you know, we had a good run going there.
All right, Jeremy Mayfield's crew working on his car. Back upstairs.
It's like more to like the current era because it wasn't consistent. They didn't have consistent entries in 2004 through like 2012. They weren't really part. That's the interesting thing. They really weren't part.
Mike Skinner,
at least as far as I can remember, of like the 2009 starting park field filler push. I don't think they were part of that. They kind of came in more towards like 2012. But you're right. Yeah, 2004. There were Rick Ware cars back then, and even Rick himself ran Cup in '89. So, and he did some road course efforts back then. There's an interview that I used in one of the videos of the field fillers that talks about that. Ooh, boy, Marcus! It's going to open the bottom for Rudd.
How about that bottom line?
Oh, they got Bobby Hamilton making it interesting.
He's going to blow right past him. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. ran it behind.
Wow, Marcus. I mean, mentioning in here, yeah, being a Childress piece, it was for a lot of his latter career. He's got a very good car.
Got a little bit loose. He had to chase it up the hill, and just that chasing, that turning right and chase up the hill, allowed those cars to drive under him and pass him off turn 2.
Well, there's about 16 cars, 3 wide, after 78 laps at Talladega.
How old is Rick Ware? That's a good question. I'm not sure.
All that 3 abreast racing back there is allowed with that single car trapped up front to pull away.
Great, I will have to Google that.
Well, that front bunch decided they want to race a little bit right now. They're tired of riding in
60, it says online here. 60 years old. Rick Ware. Yeah, see, his first full-time season in 2017. It took a long time for Rick Ware to get into the Cup Series. That's where, you know, he talked to some of these other people talking about how long he's been trying to get into the Cup Series. It's been a very, very long effort. It really has. You know, and they've finally gotten a position where they can get some decent runs. You think about Yaley's running in Atlanta this past July. Who knows what's going to happen with Justin Haley.
15 seconds on pit road for a crew member coming over the wall too soon. And as Bill Weber showed us,
Hendrick Motorsports, thank you for the super chat. You could own a one-car team, who would it be?
1 foot, and that produced the
I'm not sure. You know, that's a good question. Good question. Matt Kenzie, no. Rick Ware is 60, not 66.
Tony Stewart is on the outside with no one. He finally
Boy, you mean like a one-car team of like any era, or just like what's available today?
Elliott coming down the backstretch seemed to be by himself, but evidently
It'd be kind of fun to just kind of start something brand new. I think that would be kind of hip. Like you just kind of develop your own brand. Like I like what I hope that like the Three Friends racing team comes in there. I would have liked to pick up like Jonathan Cohen's team because he always seemed to have really beautiful paint schemes. I love like the Phoenix, not the Phoenix construction, the Phoenix warehouses scheme that Healy ran a few years ago, the 44 car. He had just great paint jobs. I would have kept whoever was with that. Or it would have been great to keep Starcom racing going, of course, if they hadn't shut down. So something like that, yeah.
Sterling Marlin is not close to that, so they will bring him back to the garage area.
Yeah, Wood Brothers. I mean, I don't think I want to own something that has like a real big reputation, unless they're on the verge of getting squeezed out, like what happened with Bud Moore or something. Bud Moore actually ran their last race as the Fenley Moore team during this 2000 season. I think they actually tried to qualify. Oh gosh, it was they have one of the Charlotte races. I think it was the 600, so it was well over by this point.
Yeah. Earnhardt Sr.'s going to look up on the outside of his son. Puts him in the middle because here comes Kenny Wallace up on the outside of Earnhardt.
Heck, man, just beautiful sound editing. My goodness. Just an experience. Getting down to the final 100 laps. Still not a halfway, and still no cautions. Outstanding. But would you call this a boring race? Absolutely not. Oh, there's Marlon on pit road. And see again, mechanical failures, attrition. Who's going to hang together?
NASCAR has spotters all around this racetrack to look at the racetrack. They would not take any chances if they saw anything at all.
Musgrave back to 39th. That's too bad. Earnhardt peaking high on Elliott Sadler.
Trying to go around Dale Jarrett, take over third. The outside group make it beginning to work a little bit because a lot of them been up there trying it for a long time.
I don't remember Bobby Hamilton being this good in this race. I mean, he was certainly good in the 55 car for Andy Petrie, but I don't remember him being that good in the. I mean, you think Morgan McClure, you think super speedways, but he has been right up there close to this opening part of the race.
1998.
Well, we got some smoke in the stands there.
I'm sorry, 1988. My own right. 1988. Thank you.
Yeah, Kyle Petty's paint job was beautiful that year. Really good car. Steve Grissom running it, of course, this week.
I knew it wasn't 98 years ago.
At the time, Kyle Petty was getting ready to drive Adams' car at Martinsville later that month.
Very much here today.
They had a Chevy and a Pontiac at a test, and they ran the Pontiac at Martinsville.
He's making a serious challenge right now for second position.
Griffin Spencer's starting to drop there, Billy. Yeah, there you go.
If you just joined us in practice, Gordon ran over a bunch of orange poles at the start-finish line with that primary car. Then at happy hour,
Ooh, Hamilton looking racy. Here he comes. Wow, what a run.
He led that lap.
Ooh, but nope, we got no help. Stewart's not going to get there in time. It was worth trying, though. You got to start practicing some moves to get to the finish line.
Well, there's Tony Stewart now trying to help that.
You got Gordon and Nadeau up there. Grissom really hanging on to Rich Bickle behind Grissom. Bickle in the 60 car.
Bobby Hamilton led the last lap, and right now he's trying his best to stay.
There he is, the power team car, one of the last races for that effort.
Car drives up on the inside of him.
And this partisan Alabama crowd pulling for Steve
Super
Grissom.
K up front. Gordon and Nadeau trying the high lane.
Turned down a chance to play collegiate football because he wanted to go drive a race car.
Oh, Nadeau left him out to dry. Gordon could be stranded this time. He might not need the help if he can get in front of Schrader. Nope, can't do it. Here come Elliott. Now you really got a problem.
And Schrader still hasn't led a lap. Jeff Gordon led the last lap, but Schrader's looking good
Earnhardt and
right
Andretti
now.
right there. You can see Earnhardt's already practicing for any kind of charge you would have to make at one point or another.
He's going to sit there in the middle.
He's just sitting there right behind Nadeau.
Here. Let's see if I can stay in that position.
Hamilton coming back again with Gordon.
Trying to hang on the bottom of the racetrack.
Stewart caught him and they got him back up there.
Jeff Gordon on the outside with drafting help from Jerry Nadeau. He's trying to go down and pick up Nadeau.
Ooh, Nadeau almost squeezing Hamilton up high.
To try to pick up the 25 car.
I go nuts for Gordon.
Gordon right out
Man, just deafening sounds in these cars. Incredible.
Since they started racing, Bill Elliott was running anywhere from 51.30 to 51 in seconds, 51.60. That last lap by Jeff Gordon was 52 seconds flat.
Those of you just tuning in, wow, we're up to 91 people in here. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We're coming up to the halfway point of the 2000 Winston 500. Gordon and Bobby Hamilton battling for the lead.
And now we're riding along with Mark Martin, who led 98 laps here in the spring. But today, he started way toward the back of the pack, back in 27th position.
Gordon lady loves her some Gordon, exactly, Steele.
There have been 16 lead changes among 10 different drivers, and Jeff Gordon showing the way. Well, lap number 87. Today, the stakes are high on this high-bank, high-speed Talladega Oval, as these 5 drivers hope they are the ones to walk away with $1 million. It's the 5th and final No Bull 5 bonus battle of the year.
Gosh, such good music. All these bumpers are fantastic.
No Bull 5 contenders is leading here after 91 laps.
Gregson in the 10 is going to be interesting.
Our Craftsman race recap.
I like to see the 10 car gain some supremacy there. Well, I hate all the stuff that Gregson was, between the rough season that he had in the 42 and then, of course, what happened with his suspension. But I think a fresh start would be great for him. So, just give him another run. I hope that John Hunter Nemechek has a better chance at the 42 there in the Toyota effort. Although I hate that we're not having STP with the 42 because with the legacy team, because the Mobile 1 compromise there. But I hope they still have some good efforts out there. I'm very excited about John Hunter this next year. And hopefully people are going to find some good places to really kind of grow and compete.
But apparently he felt he needed to stop.
Oh, here comes Hamilton again.
Bobby Hamilton goes for the lead.
In the Kodak Chevrolet, the Morgan McClure stable, Runt Pittman, the engine builder.
They got a really good engine in that thing. My goodness, Hamilton is doing great.
And now these cars trying to pull away from
look at Mike Bliss up there right behind, looks like Stewart there. Oh, no, not Stewart. Stewart for second. Behind Kenseth.
Is Matt Kenseth and Mike Bliss.
Yeah, go Bliss.
Kenseth, who for the first pit stop ran back in.
Oh boy. Bickle right there with Bliss still. Like Bickle and Bliss have been right in the mix. Most of this last run here since the last round of pit stops.
Let's run along with Rusty here for just a moment.
I hope the 42 is not going to be mid. I hope the Toyota effort helps them out.
Take a look at what speed we're talking about here.
I mean, they were just so off this year. And although Hocevar was really good in that car at Bristol, I think Hocevar is the one you got to look at that's going to be maybe not quite up to speed. I'm not expecting that 77 to suddenly turn into a rocket ship. Although, again, Hocevar was very impressive in the 42. I thought the Bristol race he ran was really impressive. He could have easily had a top 10, if not a top 5 in that race. Had some bad luck along the ways too. But I think if I had to pick between who's going to be better between Nemechek in the 42 and Hocevar in the 77, I'd pick Nemechek. I still would. Absolutely. I'm counting on it. I want that 42 car getting back up there. Oh, Spencer.
And he lost momentum, and he lost about 5 or 6.
And I wanted that Bell South throwback scheme too. That's what I want.
He's putting in reverse and going.
But I think Hocevar is going to be in for a rude awakening going full time there. I don't think that 77 is going to suddenly turn into just the most amazing ride ever. Because I don't think constructively they're dealing with a much different situation, and they're going to expand to like doing another entry with the 71. I don't see how that's going to work. I don't think they've shown enough promise to really, be at that point. But I think the 42 and 43 staying as a 2-car effort, getting the Toyota backing, I think that's the ticket. And Eric Jones is already good, and you get John Hunter in there. I think, and again, people are selling John Hunter short on the 2020 effort with front row. He did the best he could with that ride. Was he that much better or worse than David Gilliland or Todd Gilliland in there? I don't think so.
But he's back there in 33rd place.
And it was in during the COVID year where he had limited practice. I know you're going to still have limited practice now, but after having that Busch season this year, yeah, he's going to be good. Here comes Jerry to the front. Stewart looked too high into the corner. Had a boy.
And all of a sudden goes high on the racetrack, lost momentum. Same thing has happened to Tony Stewart.
Ooh, Ward Burton trying to get low.
Possible oil and that into the racetrack, and so.
Nope, Jerry through the block. Had a boy, man. There you go. Now Ward and Dale Earnhardt have
Bill Elliott was leading about
a battle of their own. Oh, nope, Earnhardt slipped by. Ooh, he's going to get him off of 2 here. Silver rims on the 60 looks really good. Oh, Ward's going to get Jerry too. They're going to BW. 3 wide, how about that? Jerry's not going to blink. Nope, still sticking his nose in there. Atta boy. Atta boy. There you go. Slip right there in front of Ward. Fantastic move. And now he's going to be right behind Earnhardt again.
Here at Talladega.
That's right. Not dropping back for anything. Look at him go. Jerry was so much fun to watch in that 25 that year. He was living his best life in that car. My goodness.
Now he's trying to work his way toward the front. One interesting note about Hamilton and the crew, the first pit stop, they took on only right side tires. The car has gotten tight in the course of this run. So Bobby said, hey guys, we have to take on 4 tires this next stop.
I tell you, if my belts can't go to 200 miles an hour, if you need more, you get the pit stop.
Skinner peeking under Rusty at the line there.
I think I would tighten them back up. And wow.
Look how tall that spoiler looks on Hamilton's car. Of course, they had that steep angle in the wicker bill there. Journey lip there on the rear spoiler.
Looks like we're going to reach that number again today. We certainly have a good possibility.
Jerry's got himself a piece.
Recording pit stop and thinking about when they may come back in. Remember, Rusty Walsh was a very
Junior.
At 37. And we are now showing.
Junior's now got, he has Hamilton behind him. Fantastic. Past the halfway point, no cautions, just intense racing.
Now, the next handful of laps, they should be peeling off.
Now, see, this is again, running this package Daytona, imagining a track with, again, slightly less banking and much narrower. But I remember watching this at the time. I was like, well, I mean, they can't not run this.
In 36 position.
This is, and I'm sure NASCAR is thinking the same way. They hit on something here, and they're like, ooh.
Just now across the start-finish line, 43.8 seconds behind the leaders. And he's suggesting going to let that.
And then the pit stops will begin here in earnest on lap number 99. Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, Ricky Rudd, Dave Blaney, Bill Elliott. Let's go down the range.
Robert Yates Racing
107 viewers in here. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Room on the wall, but Ricky Rudd was over the line just a little bit, and he's going to be awfully close to the inside wall. A little bit of a chassis change.
Oh yeah, bad angle for Rudd there. Ooh, he's going to have a real hard time getting around Jarrett unless Jarrett takes off first.
And no chassis change here for
he
Ricky
will.
Rudd. Now to Bill Weber.
No changes for Jeff Gordon. 4 tires of fuel, good stop. He's on his way. Jarrett rolls out behind him.
Still prefer the rainbow scheme over the flame scheme for Wood. That's just the original, just the classic.
Great stop in Bill Elliott's crew. Also, they have a great stop.
Here we go. Big pack coming in.
Earnhardt, they do. There's Bobby Hamilton. Earnhardt Jr. 55 miles an hour. Headed to you, John Kernan.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. coming down into his
Mike
finish.
Bliss
He gets
spinning.
counted
There's
in.
Dave Marcus.
Tire change. No
Attaboy Hamilton having a. Rob, this has got to be one of his best runs of the whole season. He was. I can't overstate. He won the NASCAR championship that year. Several engine failures. He is lighting him up in this one.
Swings around. One pump gets it up. The tire's already coming off, going on.
Green wheels were an interesting choice that year.
It is 4 tires,
Green
fuel,
rims.
extra man over the wall to clean the windshield. Working on the left rear. Now he's out of the way.
Ooh, Rusty almost into Earnhardt coming out of his stall. That was close. Pruitt, Little, running out the group. Good look at the Roll Tide car.
Getting his service and getting back on the racetrack. Well, we've had 2 pit stops, both under the green, and here's Ward Burton on pit road. John Kernan?
Ward Burton is in for what we would assume would be a 4-tire
Oh, it's
change.
like, is that Bill Davis standing there, like on in the white shirt by the pit box? Looks like
They
him.
still haven't taken any tape off of the front grill, but when Ward was able to get out, now they do take a piece of tape off the front grill to get a little more air in there. He said it had cooled down just a little bit. A 4-tire change for Ward Burton, also for Matt Kenseth and Michael Waltrip.
Just a moment ago, we saw the 4-car Bobby Hamilton have trouble.
Whoa, boy. Great crew cam here. Oh, that's the cuff thing on his shoulder getting in the way of the shot. Interesting. Ooh, slipped a little bit, getting to the left rear. Hey, catch cam. Those things you don't see anymore.
Trouble on the left front. We see Ed McClure going over to clean the windshield. NASCAR has allowed an extra man across the wall. Robert Larkins lets the car down, brings that jack around. But when the front tire changer comes around and takes the tire off, Ed McClure is in the way. See, they got the tire in the way, and they could not get to the tire immediately, and it cost them about 2 seconds extra.
It cost him about 20 positions on the racetrack.
Stacy Compton, the milling car. Underrated paint scheme as well from the 2000 season. And yeah, we saw Robert Presley as well. We've seen, look how what a large portion of the field we're actually seeing during this broadcast. Yeah, at least something to say about it. Most people in the field.
And he was being shown as the leader, so one of the
You can still have that now.
Rookie of the year competition, Stacy Compton in the pits, and now Ted Musgrave showing the way in the Bell South Chevrolet. The car number 01 is our leader. After 102 laps are in the books at Talladega. We'll be right back.
Yeah, the bright yellow version of Presley's car is good, Steele. He's featured a bit more in the next 500 days as well. Oh, we have a caution.
We have just seen the caution flag for the first time today. Dave Marcus, 59 years of age, who qualified 9th and actually led in the early part, rolled his car coasted down on turn 4, has been pushed down back to the garage area, apparently with an engine problem.
Great car all race up to that
point.
point.
The window down, and now Dave
well, it's like somebody puckered in the left rear fender there, too.
Break for Ted Musgrave in 01, Jeff Burton in 99, and Rick Mast in 14. They had not made a pit stop. They were almost
yes, correct, Scott Feldhaus. That was Mark Melling that was owning that team around that time. Correct. And this was also when they were getting the Dodge deal for 2001. But Mark Melling was still the team owner. Harry died in 99, I believe. I remember Jerry ran a red paint scheme around the time that he passed away. So it was like a red version of the Dexter's Lab, the scheme, Cartoon Network car.
The left front because it was rubbing the left front tire to Bill Weber.
Unbelievable break for Jeff Burton. Unbelievable. It's 4 tires, a little bit of tape off the grill. He's on his way. Now he stalls.
Oh boy, crew almost had to get out there pushing.
In front of him, Musgrave had run out of fuel and
stuck behind the other Sitco car.
Down pit road by Burton. He helped him out, then he was able to go around him. Ward is still on pit road. The 43 is also on pit road, getting left side.
Oh, what happened here?
So a number of cars taking advantage of this caution. Kajan.
Tommy Baldwin looks a little
And Ward
confused.
Burton's crew, you see Tommy Baldwin Jr. pulling out on the
fender
on
rub.
the left front. With the, it looks like there might have been just a little bit.
Oh
of
yeah, it's
contact
pushed
to push
in.
it and there
The
was
back
a
part of
tire
it.
rub on that left front tire because you can see just how shiny it was around it. Back up to the
Goodness, you see like a can opener to get that thing off of there. Must have been like straight down on the tire.
Husqvarna Caterpillar Pontiac back in gear and will exit pit road. Back in just a moment. Back at Talladega, what a great crowd.
Sherry, press record.
So Sherry, you get the message, press record. He wants to keep this, but this is a great one to watch when he gets home, although he's watching it here live. And take a look at
that crowd.
Some 170,000 NASCAR fans have stood for much of this one and waved their hats and screamed and applauded. Folks, that's what it's all about. Look at that sea of people here at Talladega Super Speedway. Let's go down to John Kerner.
One update on Ward Burton.
Yeah, I remember that race, Charles. The one that Jarrett dominating Michigan. I think that was still probably the most boring race I'd ever seen. Even with the 2500, at least the 2500, it was the 500, and Benson almost won it. 99 Michigan race didn't have any of that. Yeah, Jarrett just crushed the field in that. And I really wasn't a Jarrett fan at all as a kid. I couldn't stand him. Especially when he and Ricky Rudd were teammates. It seemed like he got the better chassis than Rudd did. Oh, no.
Folks, if you just joined us, he had to go to the back of the pack and started 40th today. He's our leader. We'll get set for the restart.
Oh, only a couple lap cars. It was like Blaney and Pruitt. I would think it'd be Darrell. Darrell's car with the white front end. Oh, looks like Craven. Yeah, Craven. Yeah, restarts are cool and everything, but great racing is better. The restart here is actually not as good.
Beginning of this race, and Joe Nemechek went back in a hurry in that one, but thus far, guys, looks like Gordon's hanging on.
I think the difference is the single file restart as opposed to the double file restart at the start of the race.
I agree with you. This is a single file restart. We saw a couple of cars on the inside.
You like the Sitco paint scheme there for those. Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, Jeff Gordon has been a part of 6 different no-ball.
So now we still have Nadeau up there with Earnhardt, but he's got Skinner in the mix now. Ooh, looking under him. There, Gordon really chasing him down.
6 chances. He has never won one. That can change today.
Well, Earnhardt has a Jeff Gordon, Jerry Nadeau helping him.
There we go.
Has Mike Skinner, Dale Earnhardt's.
Jerry's flying. Jerry's also got a good car. Not as good a car as Bobby Hamilton has, but he's staying right up there.
The low groove and the early going after they put new tires on the cars has been the best groove. And it's like it's that way again.
Gordon getting shaken out here. Mark Martin's not been doing bad. He's been kind of in and out of this.
Let's check in on the
Noble 5 driver. There's Jerry trying it again.
Well, I'm here with Frank Stoddard. You got a break. You dodged a bullet, didn't you?
Well, we certainly did. I hope we can dodge some more bullets, Sapman. The Sitco Super guys been pretty good today. We've just been back there riding, and we got a penalty that, was a penalty that was probably right. I mean, the guy, his foot was over the wall, but you got to work with him a little bit. He didn't go anywhere. We jumped in the wrong car. The other Sitco car was going down the thing. He didn't go over. It didn't make the pit stop any faster. He stayed there until actually our car was in the pit. If you watch the film, which made it even worse for us. I wish that we had a little bit of a working relationship there, but I'm disappointed with that. But we got it back, so I won't argue with it.
Okay, we'll see if the 99 car can work his way all the way back to the front now.
Frank Stoddard, the crew chief for Jeff Burton, and
even then, yeah, nobody wrecking. You just got engine issues and ignition failures, and cars just getting wore out from the distance. Just planning it for this race here. But still, again, Bobby Hamilton on the march there against Mike Skinner.
And we've got, 35 cars.
There's Repo 9. There's the first time we've seen him this whole race, running it inside Elliott Sadler. Terry Labonte as well. There's another one we haven't talked about. Labonte coming back from his injury at Michigan in August. He got injured at Daytona in July. Missed a few races. Ended his Ironman streak. Now he's back in the show. Skinner below the line. Labonte following him. Trying to. Nope. Now he does.
With some drafting help from Bobby Labonte, our points leader. So Labonte all of a sudden now up in the 5th position.
Ooh, Mark Martin with a run.
Bill Jarrett had gone out to try to pass on the outside, and the whole line went down the inside. So that what looked like was going to be a good move turned out to be a bad move. There's Mark Martin up there by himself. He was running pretty good up there.
Oh my goodness, the pack just gets locked up 2 and 3 wide. But again, as Brian pointed out earlier in the show here, plenty of room between people to actually make moves.
Cheerios Pontiac for the King, Richard Petty.
They had 1-2 for so long back 30, 40 laps ago. And all of a sudden, Elliott's car is just not right. I don't know exactly what had happened.
Well, Elliott kind of deployed the parachute there, kind of going to the apron. Michael Waltrip in the picture behind Stewart.
Earnhardt Sr. and Rusty Wallace trying to hang on as you're taking a look riding along right there with our Circuit City on board for points leader Bobby Labonte. He sits back there in about 5th position.
Earnhardt way down there.
To do for a long time.
He's got open track. It's going to let Skinner get a run with Junior. There they come.
Well, Ned, I would guess you're
Bobby Hamilton right on there. 3rd in the outside lane.
He said, guys, he says, I'm kind of sorry. He said, I'm just not having a very good game of chess right now. He said, I'm having problems picking out the wrong line. So obviously now he's got his concentration going. I guess he's got his game on, you might say, and he was picking the right line, it looks like to me, because he looks like he's headed toward the front.
Let me know any of your other suggestions about races we could do other watch-alongs for. I heard somebody recommending earlier maybe doing an old Fontana race, since that track is being dug up. Maybe pick one of those. I was almost thinking maybe a Richmond race for kind of almost a similar reason. Remembering back when races were competitive there as well. Another one I was thinking of was maybe 99 with Brian Weitzel's win that I featured at the beginning of 500 Days. The Weitzel's first win as crew chief for Jeff Gordon. That one actually had some kind of interesting things going on.
Taking the lead, but Bobby Hamilton.
Yeah, 92 Hooters 500. Yeah, we can always do that. Ooh, we got a smoker in the pack. Oh, that fender rub came back for Ward Burton. Oh my goodness. Good thing nobody else plowed into him. Holy cow.
Hang on to that car right in the middle. He's in the middle of like 3 cars with about 7 or 8 right behind him.
Yeah, he did do a great job. And caution is out. They'll race back to the flag where there's no big deal here. But that could have been
Bobby Hamilton's still right behind Junior, coming down to take the caution flag.
Back is because he was running with the 22. They were going to try and work their way to the front together. Elliott saw Ward was having a problem. His crew told him Ward was rubbing the tire. Elliott got out of the gas. That's why he went to the back. But he made the right decision.
Good save for Elliott. Yeah, that could have been really bad for both of them. Yeah, 97 in Fontana, do something. 2002 Rockingham Spring. 85 Southern 500. That's a good one, too.
Let's get Tommy Ball, one of the crews. He comes to a halt. Let's go down to John Kernan.
Screenshot. The left side tires, of course, first, but you can see a lot of aerodynamic damage to that left front where the belt come off and just wrapped itself up. And
that really looked like a temporary fix to try to peel that fender away.
Some of what was left of the tire of the tread is wrapped around the brake rotor. So now one of the
God, whenever that happens, that's been catastrophic to cars in recent years too. Rubber wrapping around the suspension.
And now Tommy will actually get in and try and pull it out as it is stuck as the pace car is in the middle of 3 and 4. They now turn the wheel to try and make it a little bit easier access to get the rest of the tread out of that left front wheel. And it looks like, oh man, they're coming out of 4 right now, so they're quickly running out of time, having a problem pulling this out. Oh, now they finally do get it out. Now he tells him to turn the wheel to the right so they can get it on. Tommy Baldwin gets the...
oh, look at him. Just enough time to get back out there.
We'll have to come back in, change right side tires, and also try and smooth
right with the field coming in.
Dynamic damage that was done to the hood and the fender.
Yeah, Mike Bliss there at the very first pit stall. Barely. Oh no, I guess Grissom had the very first pit stall. Both of them just squeezing in there.
Let's go down the right.
Oh, Bliss might have taken 2 tires. He's out of his stall already. They fuel only.
Because they think there is a strategy here. They may only have to pit one more time, and that may give them a chance to take gas only. Some guys will take 2 tires this time. Bill Weber?
Yeah, I think 2001 that may just hold off and do that for the 500 days, but... Oh boy, Earnhardt. Wow, Hamilton got forced into the grass there. Oh, Pruitt got into Musgrave there in the right rear. Actually, some chaos getting the whole field in there. Consequence of having everybody on the lead lap.
John Kernan says strategy here.
Like Steve Clark with the back of the car sticking out.
And look at the one car. The one car, half the car is sitting on pit road. He just simply could not get into his pit.
Yeah, I think Pruitt and Musgrave might actually have some damage. Left front of Pruitt and right rear of Musgrave. See them still pulling on the 32 there.
Okay, what happens when you cut a tire at 190 miles per hour? Let's listen.
Oh! Deploy the parachute. Ricky Rudd right behind him there. Wow. 2002 Daytona 500 be interesting. 93 500.
Watch this left front tire. The
98 Falls Charlotte. That was Cope's only pole. That's an interesting one.
Thread comes off and wrapped itself around the
saving some screenshots of this too to keep note of
and
that.
almost immediately, as soon as we see the left front tire, it is not rolling. It's sliding across
just
the
grinding on it.
I can't show you what I'm talking about. Just in a moment, you'll be able to read Goodyear on that tire. See? It's not turning.
Well, in the tough break, the
it's like a broken die cast.
Ward Burton on lap 114 brings out the second caution flag today. He is back on pit road. Mike Bliss being shown as our leader.
Yeah, Mike Bliss.
Back at Talladega Superspeedway here in
Waltrip
Talladega,
there.
Alabama. Working caution number 2 on the day. A tough break for Ward Burton. The left front tire being cut down.
And just a moment ago, during the pit stops, a very, very close call. Ted Musgrave is sitting here.
There we go.
Fuel only in his car. The red car of Scott Pruitt, he dodges Earnhardt as he comes in. He starts with his pit and all of a sudden has to turn left and runs into the 0-1 car of Musgrave as he leaves.
Musgrave's skating out of
damage
control.
to the left front of Pruitt's car. He spent a lot of time on pit road
taking the gas
trying to repair that damage and make sure that his fender wasn't rubbing the tire like Ward Burton's.
All right, looking back at the Viagra Pontiac.
Ooh, 97 Daytona, that's a good choice too.
Yeah,
we'll do a few of these. I think we can squeeze some more in between now and the start of the year. I don't know if we'll do it every week, but we'll figure something out.
Talladega, Alabama. I'm Jerry Punch, along with Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, Bill Weber, Ray Dunlap, and John Kernan, bringing you live coverage of the Winston 500.
How about that 47th driver Mike Bliss is to lead at least one lap this season.
Mike Bliss's first lap's led in the Cup race. Oh, awesome. Oh boy.
Just about everybody has.
Interesting paint scheme on that car too.
55 or 60.
That silver to white there with the blue stripe and the orange accents. Very nice.
We've had 15 different leaders here today. 31 lead changes so far.
Reminiscent of the silver inverted version that Ward Burton ran in '98. The MBNA car. Much more partial to the black MBNA paint schemes, but the silver ones are quite good too.
31 car. Looks like he's been able to succeed.
All right.
Could not get by the two.
Michael Waltrip getting a push on the inside.
He lost momentum and lost his spot.
And I don't think Rusty, according to my records, has not led today, but that could change here in about a half hour.
Tiger car.
Well, he's going for it. He's got Dale Earnhardt Jr. there.
Oh, Senior's not even going to try to draft with Bliss. He's going to just shoot right around him. Hamilton stuck behind him.
Getting a shove from a big Budweiser hood from Earnhardt Jr.
Oh, look at Junior's kind of puckered the nose a little bit. Dimple there on the right front.
Spencer coming back out of the garage area at the end of the race. He's been out for a while.
Oh, I'm surprised Spencer would even come back on. It's alive.
We're going to lead this one today after 120 laps are in the books.
Ooh, Junior's got to run.
And we see Rusty about to lose a position as Earnhardt Jr. drives up on the outside.
Oh, and Kenseth's got to run low. Rookie of the Year battle intensifying. Oh, Mark just trying to get in there on Rusty. Couldn't get it. Door closed. Michael Waltrip coming down from the high lane. He's trying to get up to Junior's draft. Jeff Burton behind Gordon. Now underneath him. Mark Martin way down. And look at all the Roush guys are in the back. You got Kenseth up front.
32 car of Scott Pruitt. We are going with the tire down. That may have been an incident on pit road. There was contact. There's Pruitt.
Yep, that's punched that car pretty good.
Left front tire.
Pruitt had all kinds of terrible luck. I mean, we talk about Hamilton's engine failures. Pruitt's bad luck was legion between spins, wrecks, and so
forth. He cut
forth.
a tire down in practice, and boy, it does a lot of damage. Ward Burton was lucky while ago to not have more damage to his left front fender than he did have when he cut his tire down.
You know why I was so lucky, Ned? Because the tread came off and stopped. He didn't keep flopping around and knock the fender off.
Yeah, good point.
How about our rookies in NASCAR Winston Cup competition? Our bestest Rookie of the Year leader, Matt Kenseth. The driver who won here in the spring started 36.
Marlin
That
with
was
those.
Jeff Gordon. And Matt Kenseth started 36.
Yep, get those 5 bonus points, exactly.
Scoring on this young man from Wisconsin as he leads it.
3-car breakaway.
Wow, 41st on lap 24, all the way to first.
How about our NASCAR Winston Cup points leader, Bobby Labonte? 3rd position.
Ooh, Labonte's looking hungry. There he comes. Boy, he can just get that run underneath before he gets to the grass, and it just forces the other guy to give you a lane.
From 17 to 6, the 99 is there.
Kenseth trying to come down. Nope.
Points for leading a lap.
That's going to get him stuck in the middle lane if Mark goes high here.
Gave himself up, I think, for Mark Martin.
to see if Bobby can lead it back to the stripe, and he'll get those 5 bonus
trying to
points.
come down.
And it looks like he will.
Bobby Labonte, our most recent winner in NASCAR Winston Cup competition last Sunday at Lowe's Motor Speedway, came in leading by 252 points with just 5 events remaining, 4 up to today. And Bobby Labonte is leading here with 65 laps to go at Talladega.
3 Pontiacs up front. Bobby Labonte.
Spencer, 28
John
laps down
Andretti,
after his mechanical
and
issue.
The 20 car, Bobby Labonte's teammate,
Tony Stewart.
Nadu back up to 6.
Back behind them. Then another Pontiac. So Pontiac's running
Earnhardt
out of the top 5.
almost got into that car to his left. Trying to catch up to Mike Bliss.
The first Ford back there will be back in 7th spot. The big Texaco star on the hood of Ricky Rudd.
Good run for Pontiac so far. Ooh, Junior spits out of the line there, hitting the outside of Rudd. Mark Martin, Elliott Sadler.
Jerry, when Bobby crossed the line with the lead, his crew told him, hey, that's 5
Schrader's
points.
trying to
That's
join.
5 points. And Bobby radioed back and says, hey, guys, it's not over yet.
Hey, there's some Rickle scene.
Well, we've got 34
Thank you for tuning in.
18 drivers, and it is the most we have had all year long. The most number of different drivers hit a lead all year long.
Down to the final 64 laps.
17 different drivers lead, and now we have broken that season record and set a new one.
Different leader mark, and you still got 64 laps to go.
Bobby Labonte from Corpus Christi, Texas, finds himself 4 races and about 60 laps away from a Winston Cup title.
It's still just as tight as ever. My goodness.
2 or 3. And Bobby Labonte, John Andretti, and teammate Tony Stewart try to hang over the top 3 spots.
Yes, so we can see this is the first race for this particular package, at least in the Cup Series. Trucks tried something different with the wicker bills and so forth.
I'm working. Skinner's about the only guy that gambled on 2 tires that time. But when we restarted this race, he was running in 2nd position. Now, he did get shuffled back a little bit.
Ooh, we got a stack up in the middle lane. Skinner with a huge run. Oh, my goodness.
I'd say 20 laps to go, right, guys?
They do for the lead again. Attaboy, Junior behind him. Keep in mind, at this point, Junior had still not won a Cup Series race on a super speedway. Hard to imagine. There he is, going for the lead.
My custom is Nadu figures that out and said, let me get down and get this.
There you go, Jerry. Jerry's got a very good car. Again, not as good as Hamilton, but very good. Very, very good. Whoop. You just knocked your camera loose there, buddy.
That was Jerry Nadu's radio. Our spotter talking to Jerry. Michael Holligan Chevrolet, as you watch it right along now on the Budweiser onboard for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Nichols still in the top 15. Michael Waltrip 16.
Battle for the lead.
Well, now they're getting Nadu shuffled out of the line here. The inside line's kind of petered out a little bit. Super K to the front. So again, Schrader, you know, for as long as his losing streak was, he had some good runs, even when he was not driving for Hendrick anymore. And this MB2 thing was kind of inspired by Hendrick, but still.
Brings the big rooster on the outside.
Today, but
oh, Junior's going to get that middle lane. There he goes.
Okay, Earnhardt Jr. is strong. Look at him stay in the middle and even pull up a little bit. Well, 4 of the last 6
Nadu coming along.
have been won by Joe Gibbs Racing.
Seriously, they uncovered some of the tape on the front of the Jerry's car there.
His drivers hoping that one, Bobby Labonte is going to be able to hang on and win a Winston Cup title. Let's get out with John Kernan.
And I'm with Coach Joe Gibbs and Coach, it looks like you might, as you're watching the monitor here, it looks like you might be holding your breath a little bit. In any of your Super Bowls while coaching the Redskins to the championship, did you ever have to hold your breath?
That's exactly what I'm doing right now. It's just a matter of where you wind up getting shuffled. To see him run 3 abreast like that, you know, it scares me. I think I'm going to find a quiet place to pray here for a little while.
How does it compare molding a championship race team to putting together a championship football team, or is there a good comparison?
I said to everybody that you know, it's almost exactly the same number of people. It's just as hard, if not harder. We've never won a championship over here, so that's what we're fighting for. That's why all this makes us so nervous, but it's exactly the same because you win with people. You don't win with cars or X's and O's.
That's how they have built a championship team, and we'll let him get back to watching monitors so he can continue to hold his breath, as we all are down here on pit road.
Well, Schrader's got a good line now, and he's got Earnhardt in it.
Professional Football Hall of Fame. Talking about Joe Gibbs, 3 Super Bowl victories and 4 trips. Well, Mike Skinner is pedaling toward the front or trying to.
List back to 24th.
Well, Jerry, on the radio, Skinner says those 2 tires weren't a problem at all. The car feels great. Best is driven all day long. Well, how long that'll last, who knows? But boy, as he worked his way back up, you talk about ebb and flow. He went from 27th all the way up now where he might have a shot at taking the lead.
Another good run. Boy, Skinner's car looks so good in the high lane.
We haven't talked much about the guy running the second, Benny Parsons, but what a job.
Yeah, Terry
Labonte did good. Here comes Hamilton back in the picture. Behind Junior. Rich Bickle behind Hamilton. Again, Bickle, very surprising. Very, very surprising. The power team effort really struggled those 2 years they were in the Cup Series.
About a half lap ago, Tony Stewart radioed his crew and said, hey, she's loaded up. Something's going on here. So they're bringing him in. They're changing all 4 tires. Should be able to go to the end of the race now. But it depends on how he comes out on the pack. And he
stalled it.
And he refires.
There we go.
On his way. So we'll see if he can catch up with the pack. He may be in
the way these cars fired up, it always sound like dropping a toolbox on a concrete floor.
He should be able to go the rest of the way.
Like a scattering of metal. Things fire back up again.
No doubt about that. Here comes the pack off the corner, and he, about the time he gets up to speed, the pack will be coming to catch him.
Oh, they're coming. They're catching him real quick.
One, and here comes the big pack of cars. He's running about 80 miles an hour, and they're running about 109 miles per hour.
Oh, here comes Earnhardt Skinner again, trying the high lane. Just incredible. Just filling up the track there. Not the same that they had at the start of the race.
Led the race in the Kellogg Chevrolet.
Little lane wide open for Hamilton.
Also back on pit road to car number 7.
Ooh, somebody just got shoved up there. I think
back in the pits.
Junior got bumped to the high lane.
And more from the Tony Stewart pits with John Kernan.
Jerry, the problem was the left rear, a few of the lug nuts had worked their way loose because you could see on the wheel how the holes, instead of being perfectly round, they were kind of oblonged out as the tire vibrated just a little bit. But they caught it, got him in before he had a problem, got the tire changed, the lights tied on this way.
Slow on the apron.
The rest of the way.
We talked about a record race today. It has been 14 years since we've had 19 or more different drivers lead a race. When did that happen? Right here at Talladega back in July of 1986. There have been 19 different drivers in this race today leading. We still got a ways to go.
Squeeze right by Stewart.
Tony Stewart going a lap down. Terry Labonte out front up on the outside.
Now we see his teammate Bobby Labonte come up on the inside, try to get hooked up with the Home Depot Pontiac.
Looking from high above, courtesy of the fine folks at Pennzoil.
There you go. Yes, indeed. Bobby Labonte did win the Talladega race, Billy.
Bird's eye view of this massive 2.66 mile facility.
That was 98 in the spring
there
race.
There are still 32 cars on the lead lap, and they are within a second of the leader. That's how close it is with 51 laps to go.
Check still well back in the pack.
4 races remain after this one today. And
somebody in the crowd having a good time. My goodness.
Trying to hang on for a championship while his brother Terry Labonte.
It was almost on key.
At Talladega in today's Winston 500. Back with more live coverage in just a moment. Back at Talladega Superspeedway with Texas Terry showing the way.
Terry Labonte. I really don't remember him being a factor in this at all.
48 laps to go. If you just joined us,
well, he's absolutely been marching up there.
Kevin LePage has had engine problems after Jeremy Mayfield and Sterling Marlin.
There's Mike Bliss and Rich Bickle right in the middle. Again, just outstanding run for both of them, just staying in the mix.
6 cars, Jimmy Spencer has been off the racetrack. He is back on the track some 29 laps behind. And the 32 car just a moment ago, Scott Pruitt, has gone behind the wall. He cut a tire and had some sheet metal and front end damage. They are working on his car, the Tired Ford.
And so far, we've had 38 lead changes. I told you, we averaged 35. A little bit more.
That's right.
One more lead change. Dale Earnhardt, the 3 car, goes back to the
They're getting shaken out, but Skinner is right there to help him, along with Schrader and Hamilton, all both with very fast cars. Crowd just really into it. Why wouldn't they be? 3 wide, stacked up, all the way back to like 15. Heck, all the way through the whole field.
In July of 1986, we had a first-time winner, Bobby Hillin, got his first Winston Cup victory.
On board with Dale Earnhardt Jr., the Budweiser Chevrolet. As he looks back at a couple other Chevrolets on your right, Mike Skinner on your left, Jeff Gordon. All this is at 190 miles per hour.
Mike Bliss third in the middle lane. Jerry Nadeau back to the front.
This is his 99th career start.
His 99. So there's 103rd that we just saw in our last episode of this.
MichaelHolligan.com Chevy.
Look at that. Right up front there. Probably his best run he ever had at a super speedway. I remember Jerry being very good at the plate tracks.
At these speeds and running 3 wide. In the past, we've seen them run 3 wide, but you know, the middle car was usually pretty squirrely, and sometimes even those on the inside would be squirrely as well. But these cars seem pretty stable. I guess it's because of all that downforce that they put on with the new rules.
How did these guys just drive by in the middle? Was it Kenseth?
For Matt Kenseth, yes, I'm planning on doing every 2001 race for 500 days. The Darlington episode is on the Patreon right now. You can watch it after the stream tonight. It will go live later this week before Christmas for those of you not in the Patreon.
And then we have watched Dale Earnhardt Jr. come up to that middle.
That is the plan. We'll do a premiere that night as well when the video goes public. That'll be fun. If you guys want to check that out.
And Elliott Sadler, he goes blowing by and takes the lead.
Well, he went down. I'm sorry, yeah, he made an unscheduled pit stop not long after the green came out.
Elliott Sadler third in the high lane. Got Ward Burton. Is Ward still a lap down?
Well, according to the score, he's not a lap down. I swear I thought I saw him come out of the pits, but maybe not. Maybe I'm seeing things here with all those Sitco cars out there.
Well, anyway, Mark Martin, wherever he came from, he's now on the lead. Forget about the 21 because he's old news.
Yeah, Ward Burton on the lead lap in second.
Led so many laps here back in
Fantastic.
Back in
Great recovery there by the Tommy Baldwin team for fender damage.
98 laps only to be shuffled and finished back in 15th position.
You know, we cover happy hour at most of these NASCAR World Cup races that ESPN does, and Mark Martin usually practices more laps than anyone else. But yesterday, he only practiced 14 laps, and I asked him, "Kids, he's doing anything this morning? Why?" And he said, "Well, if I was driving good, that good." He said, "What the heck? No, he's wrecking this afternoon. I'll wait till tomorrow and wreck." But so far, he hasn't wrecked.
Jimmy's always a man of few words.
Yeah, great throwback scheme on Sadler. They did some great ones that year. They had like one for like each decade of the Wood Brothers.
43 laps
like a plain red one for like the 50s.
Jerry Bunch along with Billy Parsons, Ned
do the David Pearson scheme later on, or the Tiny Lund scheme. And then the Morgan Shepherd version was like the best one. They ran that, I'm sure they ran that in Atlanta.
We're looking at about 20 to 25 laps to go.
Great diecast to that. That was pretty sick.
I tell you what. You would have thought when that tire shredded on the left front
on
of
the lead, Waltrip losing the lap again.
And he banged it on, trying to get back to clear. It would have hurt the car in some way, shape, or form. But it doesn't seem to have hurt it a bit because here he is in second spot.
Well, that's great. I never thought he'd be able to be that competitive again after that.
How often did Martin run Xerox? Good question, Dean. They kind of swapped in a lot. And anytime that Valvoline sponsored a car, because it carried over to Johnny Benson's effort as well. They would do like maybe like 4 or 5 races a year with it. I think in this same race in 01, Benson ran ZRX on his car. So yeah, it was some kind of deal there where they swapped it in and out.
Hold your breath, NASCAR action, Talladega style. Speaking of holding your breath, there goes Dale.
Ooh, Gordon with the low lane.
Gordon on the inside of Mark Martin.
Johnny Benson tried to help Mark Martin go through. Trying to help Jeff Gordon go by Mark Martin, I should say.
Rich Bickle, 5th on the inside lane, ahead of Chad Little, ball driver. Little had been in the back of the field most of the opening run. I got Earnhardt and Jr. up high. Bud and Nadu behind him.
That officially became our 42nd lead change here at
Jeff Burton and Andretti routing Nadu out of line, stuck in the middle lane.
45 lead changes last week at the late
Dubs Jr. for the lead on Gordon before his 3rd Cup win.
We talked about the 22.
Bickle getting shaken out. He's stuck to the inside. Nadu now in the middle lane. Benson working over Gordon.
And I'm with Ward's crew chief, Tommy Baldwin. And Tommy, considering all the aerodynamic work he had to do there.
Look at Nadu closing in the middle lane, following Earnhardt. He's got Nemechek behind him.
Caution so we can fix it, get a little bit better. But, you know, car's real strong. Terry Elledge and the motor guys did an excellent job putting the motor together today. And hopefully we get caught in the right track with this Caterpillar car.
They're not giving up the high lane, neither is Senior.
Really end up with a beat-up car.
I don't know, you might want to take that beat-up car to the wind tunnel, check the numbers. Configuration for Daytona next year. It's running so good.
I highly doubt it. The car's pretty much beat up. Balance is about 6 inches in the air. Hood's all beat up. Fender's flopping. It's not very good right now. He's complaining on the radio, but there's nothing I can do right now. You just have to drive and hang on.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to watching
Gordon
the race.
and Junior getting at it.
Watch it. The car number 8. Look at the left side of your screen there. That's Jerry Nadu. He's been running way up on the very
Ooh,
top.
Benson got a little squirrely there into Junior. Just hanging on to it.
The season opener, he came within 4 laps of winning the Daytona 500.
Inside line, Pickles worked his way back up there again. He's behind Matt Kenseth. Pickle with a very, very good run. I mean, some drivers just, they're not a factor at all. You don't see them all day. The other ones have been very impressive. Hamilton has been good. Pickles been good. Nadu's been good. And of course, you've had so many different leaders that everybody's had their piece of pie here.
Imagine if you're on the edge and you'll see the home what these guys are feeling like. 31 cars, 2 seconds apart, with less than 40 laps to go.
Pay window about to open.
Miles an hour, folks. This is NASCAR racing at its finest.
Oh, good check, Scott. So yeah, Martin only ran it a couple times. Maybe Benson ran it more often.
The fans were raving last week about that great race at Rose Motor Speedway. 46 lead changes among 13 different drivers. But today we have had 43 lead changes among 20 drivers.
It's getting tight, trying to get 4 wide. Great view of Earnhardt's car working his way through the draft.
Broadcast about the middle lane maybe was not the place to be, but now it's working very well.
And it just seems to ebb and flow. It seems like it doesn't work, and all of a sudden
Ooh, Earnhardt side drafting Rudd there. Ryan, I know you were pointing that earlier. Yeah, I'd seen Earnhardt side drafting other guys out there. There we go, getting the run again. And Howe gets the second spot away with Gordon up front.
Fans are on their feet screaming and waving hats. They're watching what you're watching as they come flashing by. And now we'll watch them above, courtesy of the folks at Pennzoil and our Pennzoil Copter Camp. Here they come, a gaggle of cars, 31 of them.
There's Nemechek back in the picture, both on the inside line.
That time by, he had fallen back to the 10th position and in jeopardy of losing more spots.
How about Jeff Burton penalized 15 seconds for a crew member over the wall? Back to
Steve Park in the picture.
Now he's right back among this group battling for the lead.
Got a huge break when he got a caution flag.
Steve Park behind Nemechek. Mark Martin behind Park. Kenny Wallace up there too.
We are hearing 10 to 15 laps. Final pit stops will be coming. So we'll let you catch your breath. We'll catch our breath. And we will come back and cover those final
Gordon with another 3-car breakaway.
Pit road area at the the crew members watching away to know their work.
That fact explained, if I'm not mistaken, there of the 28 pit.
Well, welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. Take a deep breath and watch what's about to unfold here in these final laps.
Yeah, not much about Kenny Wallace at all, Brian. You're right. You haven't really mentioned him at all in this.
Among 20 drivers.
And he hasn't really been up there as much as guys like Bickle, Hamilton, Earnhardt, Nadu, and a few others have.
Interstate Batteries Hood for Bobby Labonte, right behind Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Junior for sure, too. Been up there a lot. Hamilton back to 15.
Well, first car on the pit road will be the car number 10, the Aaron's Rents Pontiac.
Aaron's Dream Machine.
Johnny Benson, James Ensign Company. Will they do a gas and go? Let's watch.
Trying to be very easy into the stall there.
Tires.
They will not have to have a full tank of fuel because they only have.
Yep, we are down to about the last 35 or so laps for those of you just tuning in. Got 105 people in here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Coming down the closing laps of Winston 500 and 2000.
And he can get lucky in all the rest of the cars.
Last round of pit stops beginning. Under green.
To say a caution flag comes up because he is going to lose the lap.
That's his car very high in the nose there,
He's
looks like.
pedaling hard as he can, but obviously with that plate, here come the leaders at 190, and Benson is probably less than 100 miles an hour coming off of pit road. Talladega Superspeedway. Now there's the car number 94. A moment ago, we were talking about Bill Elliott back there. He is the last car, or was the last car on the lead lap, but he's back there with the 88 car for Dale Jarrett. You gotta wonder what they're doing.
Well, I think they were riding. They saw all that action going on up in front of them, and I think that they said, hey, let's just sit back here and ride in case that big one happens. You know, we'll be in position.
Jarrett, look at that rocket ship. Oh my goodness.
DJ, I think,
through the middle.
He's coming back up through there.
I don't think he's even got drafting help really in front of him that much. The car is just that fast in the middle of the corner. Robert Yates horsepower.
Now what about the 10 car pit stop coming in early right on lap?
29 to go. Coming to 20.
Came on the radio, said he had a bad vibration, thought he was getting a right rear tire going down. They are checking him right now, and it appears that all the tires do have air in them. But, hey, if it doesn't feel good out there, probably the best move for the driver to bring it in so it doesn't go in the fence.
5-car breakaway. Nadu's among them. So is Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. showing the way here at Talladega.
Good way to put it, Nick Tucker. Yeah, Tom Brady made his first NFL pass attempt a month after this. Just to show how fast time flies. Absolutely.
One at Richmond back.
Yeah, Adam, thank you. Yeah. Could be a good game, Buffalo versus Dallas. We'll find out.
Over 2 years now since his last victory.
Only Buffalo is going to win.
The spring of '98.
We'll find out.
And right now, Bobby has got 11
Single file.
Look at that. 4 of the 5 No Bull 5 contenders. The top 8 spots in the final 30 laps.
Take a chance on hitting the 18 car, so life is bland for Bobby Labonte right now.
Well, the crews are talking about waiting a little bit for pit stops, so we'll take a quick break and come back and cover those final pit stops of the day.
Scott Feldhaus, what race do I try to go to each year? Mostly on the West Coast. Sears Point for sure. That's the home track here. It's the closest here to Last Car headquarters. Try to do other ones. We've done the Clash before. We've done Vegas. We've done Phoenix. You know, we'll see how things look like this year. I'd like to do something a little different this next year. Might not do as many races because I want to kind of save up my vacation hours, kind of do something bigger 2025. But we might do something like Kansas or something. That would be cool. But only Sears Point we have locked in for next year right now. But we'll see. In the meantime, the good thing with that is I'd like to be able to spend more time making videos, especially now that Derek Cook looks done. So basically, we'll be doing between book signings and then videos. That'd be kind of a big part of 2024. least that's the plan. We'll see. I mean, we're trying to be flexible with that.
Run with once he got back out on the racetrack, and the leaders are coming up on him now to put him a lap down. And so he's.
Have we ever tried Dover? No, not yet. Last bro actually drove by there on the way to New Hampshire and said it looked pretty cool. We're gonna have to do that one of these days. I definitely would like to do as many of them as possible. I don't think I'm ever gonna be in a position to do all of them in 1 year, but I'd like to be able to do it, you know, gradually, piece by piece, like do a number of them. Oh, Jeff Burton! Wow.
Jeff Burton, as the leaders roar by him, had to come in. He felt he had a vibration. They changed right side tires. Looked at the lefts. The left looked okay. They took the rights off. The rights appear to be fine. So Burton had a vibration. That's why
James Hilton, Hall of Fame worthy. I would say yes.
Hang with Tony Stewart.
For both, not just his longevity, but he actually had the numbers. He was a really good driver. Put Richard Petty to task as a newcomer, and yeah, I mean, one of his last, you know, stayed in the series for such a long time too. Schrader with problems. Oh, the engine.
Down in 1 and 2 right now.
Engine sounds very flat.
Sounding to me like it might be 7 cylinders, but if Schrader has a problem and he chose not to make a pit stop, evidently he feels like he's going to ride it out.
Being told it definitely is an engine problem, so Goodyear is Benny on.
Yeah, I'd love to do Daytona. That's kind of. I seriously doubt it's going to happen this next year, but I mean, I think maybe the year after. Maybe. Maybe.
115.
I would love to do a Daytona 500 last place there. But again, we're getting a good foundation going. We're getting the site rebuilt, kind of making it a little bit cleaner, a little more professional looking. Yeah, we got the book published. We got a couple of things that we're working on here, so that'll be good.
Two-tire changes.
And Dale Earnhardt, the 3 car's been up front all day long, but right now he seems to be struggling. He's falling back to the 19th position.
Oh, so here comes the beginning of the rally.
Handling problem there. We see Earnhardt. Can he make the gas and go? And he's probably going, if he has a handling problem, he's probably going to have to change 4 tires and put that splash of fuel, which will take him a lot longer than some of these other cars.
And remember, Earnhardt only changed 2 tires on that pit stop on lap 115. He chose to change 2. The 94 car of Elliott didn't make a tire change. He needed it a 2 car of Rusty Ross.
Behind
That may explain why
here.
the 94 car is running toward the back of the pack.
Mike Bliss still among them. One of the best runs for Eel River probably ever in this race. Bliss looking fantastic.
Folks were saying that maybe Bliss only took fuel the last time, did not change tires at all. I'm really not sure if it's 2 tires or no tires, but whichever. He's doing a pretty good job. At this racetrack at Talladega, tires has never been a problem as far as handling is concerned, a big problem like it is in some other racetracks.
He saw some arms waving in the
I've thought about it, Dean, for doing a non-NASCAR series. Actually, if you check out my site, our staff writers, William Saki and Ben Schneider, Ben was in here in the chat here earlier. They've done other series as well. Oh, now we got a wreck. Oh, and it's Hamilton. And Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon down pit road. Hamilton, after such a good race, gets eliminated. He was running about 15th or so, it looked like, when he was in that. Terrible deal.
And tough break for Jeff Burton and Tony Stewart, who were not going to have to stop. The others were going to have to stop soon under green flag conditions. And here's Jeff Gordon. He was coming down pit road. He'll probably be up near the front of the pack.
Hey, Scott, that sounds great, man. Well, thanks for reaching out. Yeah, I'll definitely have to let you know. Definitely Sears Point for sure, but the rest of the schedule, stay tuned to my Twitter feed and all. You'll know which races we're doing. But yeah, I was starting to mention, my other staff writers, they actually do NASCAR coverage for IndyCar, for ARCA, National Series, the West Series races. I've tried personally doing some Formula One stuff years ago, but it didn't really get a lot of attention, so I haven't kept that up. I do have a stat book that's on that, though. Rough deal here in this
Come off
wreck.
the corner, there's Hamilton on the inside, and the car on the inside is going to make a pit stop. I guess that's
just lost it and
was
got
going to
Lamar.
make a pit stop.
Oh, and Bliss got into pickle there. Could potentially damage both of them after both they have really good runs.
So that was a tremendous break for him.
And after Jeff Gordon entered pit road, the pit road closed, he could get that fuel legally.
Yeah, Hamilton had such a good car in this race. Was absolutely. I remember he wrecked in this, but I didn't remember anywhere near that he had even been that much of a factor. And look, he kind of ran over Mark there, getting into it. Yikes! 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 Shoving the clutch, keep going.
Once again.
Well, you can see the closing rate. We see Mark Martin up on the outside, and he goes down between two cars. And Hamilton had just
there you go, Ben. Yeah,
run.
he is in the chat. There you
he
go.
He closed on him so rapidly that when Mark decided to go in the pits, there was nothing that Bobby could do except run the back of it.
Mike Bliss and what is that, Bickle, the 60 car, the black car there of Rich Bickle, and the 27 car, I believe, got together, and a little bit of squirreliness there.
One more angle. We'll take a look from the outside of turn 4 to see the contact there.
There's the 27 and the 60. And
oh, this is a slow car below. It's like Gordon. Yeah. Gordon doesn't really involved in that.
Road,
oh,
still working to be able to get some of the cars off of pit road to get the Bobby Hamilton car pulled in as you watch again the replay.
So again, the first actual wreck in this race, and again, just what, 2 cars? So fantastic, even with this package.
For that final pit stop.
You know,
back at Talladega Superspeedway, I'm Jerry Punch.
I mean, really, for a lot of the Daytona 500, you also had very intense racing like this and very low attrition. Until, of course, the very big wreck there on the back straightaway. Short of that, you didn't really see that in this.
He's a rear tire changer on Joe Nemechek's car. So stop, stop, stop. Why is the Boo changing tire? Folks, it's gas only. Boo stays over and just cheers.
Our Coke Pit summary shows you. How about a big gain for Jeff Gordon? Wouldn't you expect it in 26?
All right, folks, thanks everyone for tuning in. We're down to the last run of the race here, about the last 20 laps or so.
First to third for Earnhardt.
Things are about to get epic.
Gained 9 spots, and Bobby Labonte lost 3.
Folks, watch this. Coming off the corner, Mark Martin and Bobby Hamilton make contact. And Jeff Gordon was pitting. I thought that he'd gone down pit road before the crash. He was making a
devastating
pit stop. The caution comes out because of those guys spinning. Jeff Gordon is in the pits, makes his pit stop, gas only. Now, if those guys had really been sharp, they would have changed 4 tires because he would have still been leading the race with 4 fresh tires.
Ooh, ARCA at the Springfield Mile. That'd be exciting, MBR.
Primed in position to put gas in it.
That's right. They were geared to put gas only, and again, probably did not have 4 tires ready to go.
Okay.
It's only after stop.
Well, let's bring it home.
Green flag waves once again. Jeff Gordon, who wanted Paradise, trying to pull out from Talladega Sweet.
We're down to like 14 to go, 15 to go.
And Jerry, there you see Michael Walker down on the side. That also is man right. He and John Benson, who all those cars, plus Jeff Burton and Tony Stewart, were set to go the rest of the way. And others went out to stop under green for this incident, so that put them right down to get them back. So that really hurt them.
All right, let's track everything now here. Skinner up there. Terry Labonte still in the mix in 7th. Steve Clark up to 8th. Very good. Mike Bliss in the 12th spot. Earnhardt showing 15th place with 15 laps to go. Robert Presley right ahead of him. Having a good run. Bickle back to 17th. Grissom back to 19th.
Ricky Rudd looking to the inside. Rudd took on fuel only. No tire changes. A little mixing it up there in the back. As you see, looking high.
There we go. See, nobody can just whistle past anybody here, even with the gaps between traffic. Wow, Rudd holding Stewart to the low lane with Sadler behind him. 99 Rookie of the Year reunion there. Ooh, Labonte and Gordon. My goodness. Rusty Wallace threads the needle and does it again with Skinner and Stewart.
He's in the middle, going back to about 10th spot, and cars going every place on the outside, inside of him.
Pay window is open. Jeff Burton dropped back. He gets squeezed with Nemechek and Bliss.
He has 2 wins, but he has not had a top 10 finish.
There's Earnhardt in the high lane. Chad Little behind him. I think that's what put him back even further. Yep, Kenny Wallace 22nd. So again, some of these drivers that played out and finished further back.
Hard, and maybe the 2 of us can bump draft and get away from this this group. Tell them come up and give me a shot in the bumper.
Trying to do some slam drafting. Dale Jarrett shaking out of the mix there on the inside line.
I don't know.
We've seen some passes made awfully easy.
Yeah, we have.
But we've seen some that are made very difficult.
Yes, we have. I think it would depend. I think I'd rather be leading. Really, I'd rather be leading on that last lap. I'll probably wind up and be wrong. But
that move by Rusty was just insane.
Spot, and that's going to help
Terry Labonte in front of Earnhardt and Jeff Burton. Stuck way back there. There's Nadu stuck back there, too.
You saw Steve Park get a little bit loose a moment ago and wobble in the middle of the corner. And that Pennzoil Chevrolet.
On 14th place for Earnhardt. 19th for Kenny Wallace. Nemechek's close to the front. He's there with right behind Elliott Sadler. Ooh, he tries to get there next to Sadler and Gordon.
Both lead changes here in the year 2000.
And not yet.
Last week's race at Lowe's Motor Speedway, they had 46 lead changes among 13 drivers, and Bobby Labonte won that one from second starting spot. And right now, Bobby is running second.
I think he likes his position.
Just incredible package. Just incredible racing. Gordon right on the line to get around Kenseth. Sadler still with a good run. I mean, he's been solid. We talk more about the paint scheme than his overall run, but he's been kind of in and around the top 15.
Nearly crashed on the apron of the racetrack.
Nemechek trying to figure out how to get by the 21 car of Elliott Sadler. He goes down the middle with help from Mike Bliss.
From Skinner trying to get around Stewart. Daring him going down to the grass there. Bud to 5th. Andretti rather to 6th. Steve Grissom to the 7th spot there, right ahead of Jarrett behind Andretti.
Back in 5th and 6th, John Andretti in the 43 car right behind him. A great run by Steve Grissom.
Fantastic run for Grissom. And yes, as I mentioned, the Alabama driver.
That team has had a tough time this year, and Steve proving once again that he can drive on this car.
Yeah, as good as you feel for Steve Grissom, man, you also feel as well for the team because it has been a struggle. And Mark Martin is still
Stewart's a lap down. Oh, thanks for catching that.
So where's Mark Martin running?
Oh, he's running in 8th position.
Yeah, you're right. 28th place for Stewart.
Martin, not a single bone in his body says quit. He will fight until the checkered flag wave.
You know, I think when I said that he...
Yeah, Grissom looking really good. And yeah, Bliss has been impressive. I mean, again, still on the lead lap, still up there.
And he was not penalized for pitting when the pits were closed because he came on down pit road and got his service done.
Now, Rodney Wise have told him it was 10 to go. And now, if you've got a gun, it's time to fire it.
There's Earnhardt behind Jeff Burton. There's him running now. 10 to go. 9 to go.
And the 55 car of Kenny Walsh, or maybe it was a 22 car.
Nemechek up to 10th. Kenny to 15th. There he is inside Rusty. Earnhardt 18th. 9 to go. Nickel 21st. He's dropped back a little bit.
He's touching that. Got his foot riding on the brake.
Gordon looking inside Jarrett, but there's not quite enough room. Well, Jarrett moves high now. Well, Gordon's going to go with him. Shaking out the lap to Tony Stewart car.
2.5 seconds apart. It's still anybody's race at Talladega.
Look at Mark Martin coming high, way high up off of turn 4.
Benson going to lose a lap here, too. If he hasn't already. He had that early stop.
Through 3 and 4.
Ooh, boy, 3 wide stack up around Benson. Ooh, Kenny Wallace losing some ground. He didn't get around Benson's cleanly. Benson gets out of the way.
Back in 3rd position, look at that high side.
Kenseth flirting with the grass line.
It looks like Gordon is getting shuffled to the rear.
Bobby is pushed to the nose a little bit, running into Junior.
Junior was talking about on the straightaways, run up and hit me hard. Get this thing going. Let's go faster around this racetrack. Last time by, they ran a little over 188 miles per hour. That's quicker than we saw last about the middle race, around 185, much quicker.
There he goes, stringing out. It's like about the top 10 or so, getting in single file.
They want the headlines tomorrow to read at Talladega. Grown men use slingshots to bring the fans to their feet. And that's what we're going to see here in the next 7 laps.
Andretti. Here's Mike Skinner trying to look around Bobby Labonte.
Fake a bump and make a run to the inside.
Grissom still hanging on to 6th. Great run for him. Kenseth in 7th. Kenny Wallace up to the 10th spot. They do to 12th. Earnhardt to 13th.
Rookie of the year, driving the low Chevrolet, finished second here at 8th.
Mark Martin in the high lane coming back from that spin.
Jeff Gordon learned enough.
Junior just handling it, just logging laps there up front, hanging on, defending that lead from Bobby Labonte. Series point leader. Stewart's now dropped to 30th there as he pulled out a line. There we go, Jarrett to the inside. Has to get back in line behind Ward. Sadler gets shaken out. There we go, there's Earnhardt. Stuck in just a huge knot of traffic. Bliss and Park.
It'll be 5 to go. This time by one handful waved by
Earnhardt shown in 16th place.
5 laps away from the checkered flag in a 30-second run to the Winston 500.
Most of the leaders single file. Again, about the top 10 or so. It doesn't really look like anybody can move anywhere in that group. But he got a 2-wide battle behind them.
I've seen cars try to take a shot at him up on the high side. Earnhardt make contact with somebody.
16th place.
Inside of Rich Bickle, and they're going to the grass. Always, Earnhardt, if you're going to pass him on the inside, it's going to be on the grass, Ned. He's down on the very bottom of the racetrack. And Mark Martinell's on the high side. He's getting shuffled way back.
I'll show you what happened.
There's that famous pass.
There on the left side of your screen. Watch the 3 car.
That's Rich Bickle on his outside. They go down in the corner.
Into Bickle and Rusty.
3 cars touch. Rusty Walsh and Bickle touch with Bickle's right side. Earnhardt right side and Bickle's left side touch.
Now less than 5 to go.
And Bickle stuck in the high lane now. Skinner trying to get for second. That's going to uncork the bottle. Here comes Andretti behind him. There's a 3rd lane that's catching up to both these guys. Steve Grissom still 3rd on the inside lane, but his teammates now in the other lane. Kenseth's going to get stuck in the grass.
He is on the grass. He really was on the grass, folks.
And there comes Earnhardt threading the needle behind Kenny Wallace and Ward Burton. Now he's already up to about the 10th spot, if not the 8th spot.
Trying to come up through the middle.
And
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Going in turn 3, it's Skinner with the lead.
Right side torn up after the contact with Bickle. There's Andretti, weaving both ways, going for the lead on Skinner. Here comes Dale Jarrett in the 3rd lane. Terry Labonte in the 4th lane. Oh, and they can't get Jarrett behind him. Oh.
Now they're 4 wide for the lead. Well, for second it is now.
There we go. 4 wide, almost for second and 3rd. Sadler in the picture. Absolute free-for-all. Terry Labonte doesn't have any help, but he's staying with Andretti. Now he's falling back.
Hold your breath, folks. Less than 3 laps to go.
Skinner wants his first win bad. But here comes Kenny Wallace pushing Earnhardt behind Andretti. Mike Bliss there with Nadu. And then he gets around Andretti.
The Intimidator is scraped and beaten on the right side. But he will not be denied.
Unreal. And there it is. Earnhardt, Kenny, and Nemechek. And you got Terry Labonte right behind him. Skinner and Junior trying to keep up front. They've been holding off Bobby Labonte, but that's not going to be enough with the outside lane. Side drafting Earnhardt.
And Earnhardt is going for the lead.
And listen to this crowd of 170,000 strong.
Richard Childress, both these cars running around.
Skinner trying to hang on. Now Junior's going to ditch him. Oh, what a save. Unreal save by Junior. He can't get back in line.
He saves Dale Earnhardt Sr. has come from 17th spot in 4 laps to lead it.
How did Terry Labonte stay in the top 5 after all that?
Is in second spot, followed by
his teammate, Joe
Boy, Kenny almost had something there.
And Kenny Wallace has likewise never won a Winston Cup race. 3 Chevrolets on the final lap at Talladega. $2.7 million and $1 million bonus for Dale Earnhardt if he can hang on. The No Ball 5 contender, Mr. Restricted Race, Dale Earnhardt comes down and will take his 10th career victory at Talladega in the Winston 500.
The crash as the team across the start finish line.
See, they give us so much of a stack up. Everybody gets into each other across the stripe. Just unreal.
The 22 is involved.
Grissom and Bickle and Compton.
The 44 of Steve Grissom was sliding.
A.C. Compton was involved. And there, that big fist on the Earnhardt pulls up and says, "Thank you, Kenny Wallace."
That race is magical every time.
And the shove actually was right by Earnhardt's teammate, Mike Skinner. Let's go down to the Earnhardt pit and hear from his car owner, Richard Childress.
Guys, you will not believe it. Richard Childress walked over and gave Danny Lawrence a big old kiss. Is that the most unbelievable race you've ever seen?
Unbelievable, but it was Kevin Hamlin. His back's hurting so bad you can't touch him. Hey, the race fans today got the race they deserve. This is for the race fans. Goodrich, everybody.
Talladega has been Dale Earnhardt's track, but that may be the most impressive run I've ever seen.
That was wild. You know, we never gave up. He wanted some tires to tighten them up. It was just wonderful. Hey, I got to thank this whole race team. Mike Skinner done a super job today in the Lowe's car. You know, he's going to win his race.
Absolutely. What an unbelievable finish, guys.
Well, the most lead changes in over a decade, the most leaders in 14 years. And if you're a NASCAR fan, you love this one. If you weren't a NASCAR fan, you became one today. Like 170,000 strong stood and cheered. They got to be exhausted. Many of them haven't sat down all day long. Let's take a look at what happened here in the
just hair-raising.
of this one at Talladega.
And yeah, some great runs throughout the pack there. Yeah, Mike Blisket in the top 10. Oh, yeah. Bickle just got a little squirrely there coming across the stripe.
Steve Park going around, and then all the cars get obscured in the smoke, and I can't tell who's what.
Ward Burton is definitely in it. He's getting his car back to the right.
Here's Ward, you come down to the line.
Ooh. Yeah, Ward had a rough afternoon.
Too many cars
Jeez
trying to get in the
Louise.
same place.
Just peel the body off that and put a Dodge body on it now.
Comes off turn 4. Goes by the line. No, he did save a race car.
Well, here's the way they were. They came across.
Yeah, it's further back. Look at that. Bliss is right behind Skinner. Ooh, and he's just threw a block there on who's that, Rusty? Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt is on his way to victory lane. They scrambled, they pushed, they shoved, and the checkered flag had already waved. We'll be back in just a moment. Today, a 49-year-old, 7-time Winston Cup champion would not be denied. He had come 7 times to the No Bowl table, but had never won the $1 million bonus. But today, he will win the $1 million bonus and the lion's share of a record $2.7 million purse. Let's get on to our Hasbro NASCAR Heat winner circle. Here's Bill Weber.
A couple of big winners and 2 new millionaires. Well, Earnhardt already had a little bit of money. But he's a winner at Talladega for the 10th time in fantastic fashion. I have seen you celebrate before, but this was pretty wild.
Come on up here, Frank.
Be careful with him.
I am. It was wild. I didn't have any thought that I'd have a chance of winning this race, starting where I did on that restart. Boys, as we kept working away and got on the outside, Kenny Wallace really worked hard with us, and he done a good job. I don't think we would have got back up there if it wasn't for Kenny.
How did you get back up there?
He stayed with me. Once we got together, he stayed with me, and he pushed me to the outside of them guys. And I had to beat Mike Skinner, but I had to beat him for a million.
You were very vocal yesterday, Dale, that you don't particularly care for this rule package. Did it frustrate you during the day?
Oh, it was very frustrating. Nobody could stay in front, and it was a chess game of getting there and staying there, and it just worked out for us to be there at the right time.
Have you ever won the Winston $1 Million bonus before?
It's the first time I've won it. I've been eligible several times, so it'd be good going to Vegas now with $1 million in my pocket, huh?
And obviously you did it with a crew chief that suffered a racing injury last night, Dale.
Yeah, Kevin, he's a monster truck driver, and I think he beat Tony Stewart, but he broke his back as doing it. He broke a vertebrae in his back, but he'll get better by next week, I bet.
Well, congratulations on your win, $1 million, and again eligible for the $1 million at Las Vegas.
Well, I appreciate it, and all the Good Ranch folks that stand behind us, we appreciate all their support. Grandkids back home, Kelly, my daughter, and Carrie, my son, and all the kids. See you when we go home.
At the beginning of this race, we told you he asked Kevin Hamlin if he won. Kevin said, I did, and so did Earnhardt.
And he gets a big hug and kiss from Teresa. And how about Richard Sturz, 45 years of age from Mount Savage, Maryland? He won $1 million also because he was paired with Dale Earnhardt. 7-time Winston.
Yeah, I noticed that too. The graphic is a little weird. It showed 77 instead of 76 wins.
Career victory at Talladega Superspeedway. What an effort in those final laps as he was able to sweep by and take the win. Back with more from Talladega in a moment.
A couple of big winners.
Back at Talladega, Alabama. Now we can take a deep breath and take a look at the unofficial results today. There were 26 cars finished on the lead lap. Dale Earnhardt the winner. Kenny Wallace equals his best ever career finish. Joe Nemechek third. Jeff Gordon and Terry Labonte rounding out the top 5.
Look at Dale Earnhardt Jr. led there just a couple laps ago, finishes 14th.
Yeah, Steve Grissom still got a good finish there in 16th. Would have been great if he got a top 10, just didn't quite shake out. Bickle, too, 21st.
1 lap down.
A bit further back.
Steve
Presley,
Grissom had a
25th.
great run going in the Hot Wheels Pontiac.
Amazing even with such low attrition. You only had
Bumping
26
accident
cars on
across
lead
came to
lap.
the checkered flag, and that cost him a few spots. Look at Rick Mast. And the
Pit stops towards the end to the factor. Benson, that early stop dropped him ultimately 2 down.
Celebration is ongoing in victory lane.
And again, Kevin LePage's third last place finish.
Bills flying around. Now, what about the point standings with 4 races to go?
This, of course, under the
spot
old point system.
210 points back of Bobby Labonte. Burton
185 to 34 scale.
And Ricky Rudd now moves into 5th spot. Now, the guy who finished second, equaling his best ever career finish, is standing by with John Kerner.
And Kenny Wallace talking things over with his teammate Joe Nemechek. And Kenny, that close to that first win. Those 4 tires that you took in the last stop really made a difference, huh?
Well, how about this? You know, one second, third finish for me and Joe, but you know, I mean, it was just a deal where it was vintage. You know, here I am trying to win the race, and I think I'm trying to get underneath Earnhardt through the, you know, the tunnel turn, or not tunnel turn, the short chute here, and he comes down in front of me, and I'm thinking, my God, I have no choice but now to help this guy win and then settle it when we get by there. And I knew better than to hit him going through the trial over here, get him sideways, so I just couldn't believe how much Joe was helping me, and I was just ramming the heck out of Earnhardt, but it was hitting him square, and hey, me and Nemechek won Earnhardt that race. I think he owes us half of that no bull money. But he was thanking us at the end there.
What do you think about that, Joe?
I think we need to get half of that money, too. You know, that's we help push him by. But no, I was helping Kenny there at the end. You know, it's just a good weekend for the whole Andy Petrie Racing team. You know, our Oakwood Home Chevy sitting on the pole, finishing third. Kenny finished in second. It's just a good day. I was trying to figure out how to push Kenny by Earnhardt, but he was trying to break the draft, and there was not. If we could have had another couple laps, there might have been something, but then the rest of the pack would have been back. So I'm just glad this race is over.
Yeah, everybody. Congratulations, guys. Back upstairs.
All right, these two guys, teammates finishing second and third. Great day for Andy Petrie Racing, Jerry Vest engines, and that whole crew. And the celebration was ongoing. Look at all the dollar bills on the ground there.
It was like the dollar bill confetti they do. This is awesome.
And how about sheet metal on the racetrack? At the checkered flag wave, we had cars slipping and sliding. There comes Steve Grissom, Martin Warren and Steve Park, and others. Back with more from Talladega in a moment.
Just the sounds are just incredible. Got about 12 more minutes of post-race here if you like. We'll go ahead and play that here for those of you tuned in. We can do a little bit of a stream afterwards here. But yeah, we'll just keep it short there. If you guys are tuned out, that's all right.
Down in the garage area with Ray.
Well, one Earnhardt stands in victory lane with $1 million, but another one's pretty happy because you had an awesome race car today.
Yeah, we did. It's been a while since we had a car as good as that. We got to lead some laps. I don't know if it's just because everybody else didn't want to, but we was up front for a while and trying to think about how we was, going to run him last 2 or 3 laps, and Mike Skinner got up there and mixed it up with us, and I tried to get him on apron. It was now or never, and it was my decision. We probably could have finished in the top 5 or 6 if I'd have just kind of run behind him, but I wanted to win. And we come home 14th, but we're still happy.
Would you rather have not been the leader there with 2 to go?
No, I was happy with leading the race, getting some laps and looking good. I mean, that's what it's all about, no matter where you finish.
Hey, and there's a big group of press around here, and that's good news for Dale Jr.
As I said, he had not had a top 10 finish since the beginning of June 4th at Dover, Delaware.
There's a lot of happy faces in that crowd, I'll tell you.
July and August, but what a run he had today. But that won't be the discussion in the Earnhardt House. Something will be this one, another $1 million winner. Back in a moment.
It's amazing. I guess it went at such a torrid pace. They got plenty of time for these post-race interviews.
Points leader Bobby Labonte. Bobby, for a while there, it looked like he might pull off the victory, but at least you got out of here okay, still with a 210-point lead.
Well, that was our goal for the day, finish this thing, and you never know what happens. And the guys did a good job in the pits. Good job working on it before we got here. We changed motors this morning because we thought we had something a little bit better with the new plate rule, and we just rode around there and just watched things, see who was the fastest car. It looked like the 8 car was the fastest, and I had my eyes set on his back bumper. I thought that'd be the place to be, and he made a move on Skinner, I guess it was, there with 1 to go. He thought it was the last lap, and that caused a big wreck, and the outside line got us. So we slipped back to 12th, but there's a lot worse things in the world, a lot worse things in this life than finishing 12th today.
As far as the championship goes, 4 races remaining. Are you starting to feel comfortable and in command?
No.
Hey there, Nathaniel. Thanks for tuning in. Let's watch a little bit of post-race here on the stream. We'll have a little bit of a discussion here a little bit afterwards. Very brief here afterwards for those of you guys still tuned in if you'd like.
We like our chances
and
every race that we go to,
thanks everyone for watching.
We got out of here.
All right, a 12th place finish for Bobby Labonte, still leading the points by 210, Jerry.
And you take a look, there were 6 different positions that changed among the top 10 today with 4 events remaining. And we'll have the Winston Cup Series season finale coming your way from Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Napa 500 on November 19th. Back to wrap it up in a moment.
Of course, that was the race that we watched just last time out there.
Winning at Talladega is a tall order. Even at this massive facility, traffic can be treacherous. This day is nothing but a high-banked, high-speed, high-stakes game of chance. Split-second decisions can mean the difference between winning and hitting the wall. And today, Dale Earnhardt had courage, confidence, cooperation, and a whole lot of luck as he takes home the $1 million. For Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, Ray Dunlap, and Bill Weber, I'm Jerry Combs. Once again, congratulating the 7-time Winston Cup champion, Dale Earnhardt, on his dramatic win in this 32nd running of the Winston 500. Coming up next, the PGA Las Vegas Invitational. Now let's go watch a Roger Twyvell. It was a 3-way tie. So long, everyone, from Talladega.
And there you have it, folks. So, really, what can you say? What can you say? I mean, it was a tremendous super speedway race. Dale Earnhardt's 76th Cup Series victory, not 77th, like in the graphic there. And in dramatic fashion. He had won that Atlanta race in the spring, which is a 75th win. The win that was so eerily recreated with Kevin Harvick and Jeff Gordon in the 2001 race. And as you heard from this, it was this race that actually was going to put Earnhardt in the No Bull 5 for the spring race in 2001 that we covered on 500 Days earlier this year. Tragically, of course, that did not happen. And the spot went over to, I believe, Mike Skinner took his spot there in the No Bull 5 in that. And again, these are, again, it's just a really competitive race. But again, it's interesting to kind of compare it to super speedway racing today, where again, you have pack racing, but at the same time, people are able to actually make some real dramatic moves. You can actually still have a really competitive race out there. Nobody's just locked in formation. You can't go anywhere. People actually had options. You had some that still laid in the pack. You had others that could break away up front. And even then, they wouldn't be able to stay up front for long because the pack would just kind of gobble them back up there. It did seem like some of that unpredictability was certainly a factor in the Daytona 500 the following year. Of course, the much narrower track had its own share of pitfalls there. But for much of the Daytona 500, like in this race, had very low attrition and until things kind of boiled over there with the Tony Stewart accident on lap 174. So it's, again, a tremendous moment there in the sport's history. Obviously, those of us watching it live at the time had no idea that we were seeing the end of an era there. Earnhardt was very much, having a career resurgence this time after his surgery and, just recovering during that 2000 season. We saw in the Jerry Nadeau watch along here earlier this year that, again, Earnhardt was able to wrestle away the second spot in points there behind Bobby Labonte, who did cruise to win his championship there that season. Just a lot of definitely memories, to think back of from there. But again, a tremendous moment in the sport's history. A tremendous race there, and definitely happy to have it on the stream here tonight. So again, big thanks to NASCAR Classics for preserving these beautiful full resolution versions of these races with the improved audio quality and everything, and making it so that we can enjoy it at moments like this. So definitely make sure to support them and keep sharing their link over the NASCAR Classics site there. They're doing a fantastic job out there, and we'll look to do some more of these over this off season there. So we'll have some more news on that coming up here in a little bit. Stay tuned to my Twitter feed at LastCarOnBrock. If you are interested in joining my Patreon, if you're a $5 or up level, it doesn't have to end here with the stream tonight. The episode 7 of 500 Days on the Spring Race of Darlington in 2001 is already in the Patreon. You can check that out. Again, patreon.com/LastCarOnBrock. Of course, the website is lastcar.info, in the process of getting rebuilt here at the same time. And everything else is coming together here. So just in case we don't do another stream before Christmas, have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll do some more of these over the off season. So have a great time. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. And just have a wonderful evening there, folks. So thank you very much.